Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Police custody.
Yeah. Hey, look what's on the desk to start today's show.
It matches the helmet, kind of.
Is this the Kool-Aid Mafia return?
Hey, man, listen, we drink Kool-Aid every single time.
Kool-Aid Mafia return. There were people angry after the most of the audience was angry on social media after the Browns won.
Hey, man, I'm going to take any win.
Yeah.
I'm going to take
every win. They didn't get style points. That's why I think.
I'm going to take every win I can get, bro. We out here. Listen,
yeah, we don't apologize.
I'm going to drink that Kool-Aid regardless, bro. We got the dub. I'm going to celebrate that dub. What is this? The name of this? This is Sharkberry something?
This is Sharkberry Fin. Sharkberry Fin
together,
flavor. Mike. There's no turquoise colored, no orange colored, no dolphin colored.
That's as close as
Kool-Aid,
we got.
So I figured shark fin flavor.
Well, dolphins
have fins. It was the closest equivalent I could find.
We cooked up the dolphins and turned them into Kool-Aid.
Why not?
Cheers to Mike McDaniels. Hopefully the job market is doing you
well.
He's
not getting fired. The Dolphins came out today and said we are not making a change.
Yeah, well,
y'all all told me that when they make that vote of confidence 2 weeks later, that's when this machete comes.
I can't believe he didn't get it.
That was a lost team that I saw.
Did you guys see his reaction to Quinn Ewers when he came off the field after his only series?
No, is that what you guys?
Oh my
I didn't see
God, it was painful. This is this kid's first NFL experience. He walks off the field and is literally standing next to Mike as if he wants something. Give me something, coach. I know it wasn't great. And McDaniel didn't even look at him.
He was in that menu.
He was just staring.
And you know he got the aviators.
He had the Jim Jones Guyana
Still
tragedy.
trying to figure out why he's wearing sunglasses when it's cloudy.
I don't get it.
He looked like a goofball. He looked like a total goofball.
Well, he's proven himself to be one, really.
You can't get that off. Mike Tomlin listen, black folks can get that off. You can't be in there, a middle-aged dude with sunglasses.
No, hold on. Mike's half.
He's half black.
He's half, bro.
That is right.
You got to claim this one, dog.
No, we're stuck.
This is on your peeps, too.
I forgot he was at the family reunion 2 years ago. He came late.
Yep.
You know, all right, come on in here, dog. We can get you together.
He still can't pull off the glasses.
All right, well, guys, let's dive in because it's a win. It's a victory Monday. One housekeeping note before we dive in. From now on, from today till the rest of the time, we're doing Super Chats from 12:45 to 1 o'clock.
Period. Full stop.
15 minutes Super Chats. We're going to get as many as we can in. We appreciate everyone who sends Super Chats. You guys saw the fiasco last week. We're getting so many, just time-wise, it's tough to get them all in. We appreciate them. We're going to get as many in as we can, starting at 12:45 to 1, but that's going to be the new daily practice on UCSS moving forward. So send them in. We'll get to as many as we can. If we've already talked about a topic related to one of the Super Chats, we'll skip those, but we'll try to get as many questions as we can, get the engagement that you guys want. And we appreciate every single person who takes time to watch us, to engage with us, to send us Super Chats. We love y'all. And with that, let's dive into our first topic on a Victory Monday, guys. It's brought to us by FanDuel. And right now, America's #1 sportsbook has a can't-miss offer for new customers. That's right. If a new customer bets $5 and that $5 bet wins, you get $300 to use in bonus bets all across the app. $300, guys. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to download the FanDuel app today to get things started. We got a bunch of winning FanDuel tickets sent into us this weekend. We'll show you guys those tomorrow when we got a little more time. But some big wins from fans. Continue us to send those FanDuel tickets in if you win. And with that, guys, we're going to skip shock and reaction and just get to the first topic of the day, which is the Browns won by 25 points. It was a 31-6 victory. And during our post-game show, G and I, during Bull's post-game show, we talked afterwards and said, I'm not quite sure there's one predominant theme that stands out above the rest that we got to get to. So, Bull, I'm going to ask this open and ended. We'll start with you. What was your biggest takeaway from yesterday's 31-6 blowout win over the Miami Dolphins?
That it can get worse. Like the Dolphins as an organization, as bad as the Browns are, and it's bad, the Dolphins are in worse shape. They've got an even worse coach than the Browns do. They've got just as bad, like all the dysfunction we have with ownership and front office, they've got it too. They've also got a quarterback they're paying a ton of money to that can't play. So both teams are in but at least the Browns haven't quit. The Dolphins look like they quit. I mean, they were playing with no passion and no energy. The Browns were playing with tons of passion and energy yesterday. The fact that fans were so angry after a win, I thought was kind of crazy. My timeline was filled with like all kinds of crazy. One person said, the Browns should have blown them out. They won by 25. What do you mean should have blown them out? They did blow them out. I understand the offense didn't play great. It was a weird game. But that's a game where you know how there's this stat, the Browns only won a game where they only rushed, they actually had less yardage. They had 205 yards, whatever it was. Yeah. Usually the Browns are on the losing end of those weird stats. So for once, they're on the winning end of the weird stat. I don't think it means anything going forward, but the game did show you that as bad as it is, it could be worse. The Dolphins are worse.
I can't
Not by a lot.
I can't believe you. How is it that I'm dead inside?
Yeah.
And yet, I'm like the optimistic one around here lately.
Right. You're right. Fair point, because I'm ripping fans for being angry, and then I didn't say anything positive.
I'm yesterday.
I caught that too.
I didn't really think about that. Yeah.
They rubbed off on you, Bull.
But, I mean, yesterday showed, the Dolphins are a bad team, 100%. But I told you, the first 6 games were brutal. There are winnable games after that. And I walked in the press box yesterday going, okay, well, let's see if this is the Commanders all over again or if there's something left to fight for. And there's something left to fight for. They gave you the blueprint of how they can win games going forward here the rest of the way. Run the ball, play great defense. Just don't lose the game on special teams. Just don't lose it. Yeah. Don't give up a big return or block kick or anything like that. Just don't lose the game on special teams. Play great defense, force a couple turnovers, give your offense a short field, run the ball and be protective of the football. That's how they're going to have to play. It's not sexy. It's not flashy.
It's probably not sustainable to win that way either.
Well, you're going to win look at the schedule. They can win games.
I know, but the Browns are as bad as those teams. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. But you can beat the Jets playing that way.
I don't know if they're as bad as the Jets and the Raiders. Wow.
You can beat the Jets that way. You can beat the Raiders that way. You can beat the Titans that way. There's 5 wins.
Congratulations.
Well, I know, but what did you expect? What did you?
No, you're right. You're right. And the truth is, who knows? Crazier things have happened. They beat New England this week. They're going to be 500 after playing the Jets, probably. So I don't think they're going to beat New England, but you never know.
Listen, this is not a good football team. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying this is a good football team. I'm not saying they're going to make a playoff run or anything like that. They are who we thought they were. That's why all year long, I haven't understood all of this outrage and disgust and everything else. They're 2-5. They're a missed kick away from being 3-4.
That's silly.
No,
that's
it's not.
Silly. Yes, it is.
No,
because,
it's not.
Because they should have lost the Green Bay game.
The Packers game kind of weighed that out, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Every team is one play away from having another win or another loss.
Of course, but if Andre Schmidt makes his kicks in the first week of the season, what's their record? What's their record?
Okay, so it's 3-4.
Okay.
And if they don't have, Jordan Love doesn't throw the stupidest pick in the history of football.
I totally agree.
Let's not put those misses on Andre
maybe
Schmidt.
Jackson Dart threw the stupidest pick in the history of football yesterday.
Oh, that was awful. Let's not put the picks on Andre Schmidt.
And people are angry not because
he didn't get here till week 2. That's why he was here.
No, Schmidt missed the kicks in the opener.
Was it?
Yeah.
Schmidt was the opener.
Oh, yeah, because we talked about should he be fired, and you said no.
You hate him so much, you're trying to forget him.
We fired the kicker after the last preseason game.
Yes, every team has these games that are coin flips.
But the point is, you're making an argument that, we expected them to win 5 games, and so they're going to win 5 games. Let's give them some sort of credit for that.
I'm not saying give them credit for it. I'm saying they are who we thought they were.
Okay, but
they're not good.
Right, and so fans are going to continue to get angry even though they expect the team to be bad. That's not unreasonable when they lose. Now, you shouldn't get angry when they win.
I mean, you can only expect a team to be as good as they are capable of being.
Why? Who expected the Colts to be 5-1? We all thought they'd suck. I thought they'd suck.
I don't look at this team and see a 7, 8, 9 win
Jason,
team on this.
how many? Did you think the Colts were going to be any good this year?
I think Daniel Jones was always the wild card.
Oh, come on. Nobody thought he was going to be
They're the Vikings of last year.
Let's face it.
They took a quarterback that was on life support, and they miraculously had a great start to the season. But let's not overlook it. Daniel Jones or which one's more valuable to the Colts? You got Taylor or you got Jones? Who are you taking?
Well, they had Taylor last year, and they stunk.
I know they did, but
yeah.
He's a serviceable quarterback with a great running back.
Well, he hasn't been serviceable. He's been terrible for the most part until this year.
And that's exactly what happened in Minnesota last year.
There is a whole conversation. Today's probably not the day for it, but I'm fascinated by this of these retread quarterbacks.
The comeback stories.
Success. I think it's tied directly to the head coach and front office. I think there's a track record there, but we can talk about that another day.
Yeah.
Ultimately, listen, you want my general reaction. This is how they have to play to win games. There are wins out there for them to get. They're not going to be a winning team. They're not going to the playoffs, but they're not a 2-15 team either. And I think yesterday proved that.
Yeah.
Listen, not getting into the overarching big theme of what you think the Cleveland Browns are or aren't. If I just look at this football game, there's a couple of things that I really liked. Winning is very important for young players. Winning is important for the mental health of young players and the culture of young players. And also, it helps that if you win, that you don't have people, jumping, going crazy, and basically, like we talked about all the time, is just giving up the rope and be like, listen, we're going to chalk this up. We done. We finished. We checking out. I ain't going to treatment. I might not even play next game. You need wins to get that done. And this is a win that the Cleveland Browns should have won. This is a win that they should have had, they should have got, and I'm glad they got it. So I'm not going to be mad. I can't get salty at them if I'm like, oh, well, and I'm not picking them until they win. And then they win, and I'll be like, well, you know what? That was a trash win. Nah, because here's what they did. They went out there. I thought 3 things were very encouraging. Shout out to Tyson Campbell. I thought he showed me 2 or 3 things. I know this is week 1. But his athleticism to catch Devon A-Chain down the sideline, I said, okay.
He's the only guy in the field that could have caught him.
Oh, my God.
I thought he was gone. I think anybody was catching.
I said gone right away, and then I forgot about Campbell.
Then he got the pick 6. I said, okay, I like what I'm doing. Maybe picks is your thing. He was around the football. He was flying around. He had a nice PBU in the end zone. I like
that. Would have been a touchdown without him.
Nice PBU. Thing that jumps out to me is like, man. Now, McNuggets said the most pause-worthy thing in the post-game show, but I'm going to just try to retread it and get it so I don't got to say pause before. He has elite size and athleticism. It's evident. When you watch him play, I'm like, who's number 7 out there? 7 is a guy that is an athlete. So I like that. Grant Delpit, I thought he had one of his best games of the season. He came out and make comments that he don't know how he feels about winning anymore. The feeling is gone. Grant Delpit came out and played a great game. Myles Garrett got back on the sack total. And then think about it. I like this too. Now, the game plan regressed a little bit in terms of the aggressive nature to it, but I'm going to give Kevin Stefanski a little credit. I know, shocking. Dun, dun, dun,
I didn't see that coming today.
I'm going to give him a little credit. You know what? We killed him last week. He gave Dillon Gabriel the ball 58 times and said, go throw it against the Steelers. He said, what was that? That was nasty work. But you know what he did today? Maybe he was listening to Myles Garrett when he went into the office and said, hey, listen, you need to give Quinshon Judkins the ball more. So he doing what he did. He did the smart thing that any parent does. When your kid gets your driver's license when they're 16, you're not allowed driving at night and you're not allowed driving in the rain. You're still getting dropped off at school and your curfew is 8. He put Dillon Gabriel right on the sideline here. Yeah, right here. Come chill by me and let's dust off the wildcat or the wild elf, so to speak.
Yeah.
The wild dog. He gave him the rock on the goal line. He scored 3 touchdowns, and you see what happens when you spam your best players. Overall, was it an impressive game offensively? No. They won the game because defense in the running game. But you got to win.
Special teams.
Special teams got a turnover. Bull, see, I gave you something.
Look at that.
Look at you. You got something positive.
Kicker was 5 for 5.
Kicker didn't miss nothing in the rain.
What's his name? Had a nice return, too, on it.
Dillon Sampson.
Dillon Sampson had a nice return also.
So there was some positive things that go around. The offense is still a little dry and stale, but at the end of the day, Jay, it's about getting the win for today. The overarching things are conversations for tomorrow.
Yeah, even in victory, you can nitpick and find warts. That's the case with every team just about every week. You could point to the 206 yards of offense. Earlier this year, the Browns had a game in which they gave up 275 yards and allowed 41 points. And I'd never seen that before, and I did the calculation of yards per point. And it was 6.5. It was the lowest I've ever seen. I've been doing that calculation.
That was Detroit, right?
That was Baltimore.
But yeah, Baltimore.
They held Baltimore's offense in check. And they literally scored a point for every 6.5 yards. Yesterday, the Browns scored a point for every 6.6 yards. Those are the 2 lowest that I've ever seen. I've been doing that for a number of years now, but it really stood out to me. Usually it's in the 12 to 16, sometimes 20 range. So to have a point for every 6.6 yards is incredible. They did it because of, and this is my biggest takeaway. The team has not quit on Kevin Stefanski. That's my biggest takeaway. They played complementary football. The defense set up the offense. The special teams set up the offense. Everybody was kumbaya, and they were marching towards victory. Now, you always have to look at who they did it against. Who they did it against is, in my opinion, I haven't seen enough yet of the Raiders, Saints, and Jets. I have seen a decent amount of all three to know that all three of those teams are just as much of a dumpster fire, perhaps more. I don't know. But when I looked at Miami, I saw a team that is broken down, a team that is playing without its best player, and they've packed it in. They've quit on their coach. I think their coach has quit on their team. Mike McDaniel watching Quinn Ewers come off the field and not even turning his head to acknowledge him, standing there waiting for something, was one of the more disrespectful things I've ever seen from a head coach. How he wasn't fired this morning is astonishing to me. Astonishing. Because all the earmarks are there that he is not going to be able to pull out of this tailspin. As for the Browns, I give them a lot of credit, man. I think Campbell was impactful. His impact yesterday, you could say, was up to 21 points. Now, I know they got field goals off 2 of those touchdowns, but he chased down A-Chain, who doesn't get caught from behind. Ever, period. It doesn't happen. He broke up a pass in the end zone that was an absolute certain touchdown, and he had a pick 6. When was the last time a Browns defensive player could have been tied to a 21-point game swing? I can't remember it. I know Greg Newsome never did it.
I think you can say Denzel Ward in the game where he had a pick 6 against Joe Burrow in Cincinnati.
That's the exact game I was thinking of.
Did he stop 2
I
other touchdowns?
don't remember what happened. It was Bengals opening drive, I think.
Yeah.
And he had like an 80-yard return, I want to say.
It's pretty rare
that.
that you can point to a defensive back shifting 21 points in a game. That's a massive number. They won by 25.
Yeah.
So, man, for his second week performance, I give him 5 stars. I think he was incredible. I'm not so quick to give Kevin Stefanski flowers because he figured out he should run the ball.
Hey, it's a small bar. It's a low bar.
You take your wins where you can get them. But I'm not gonna be effusive in my praise because he decided on a ruddy track after his quarterback threw 58 times to turn and hand the ball to number 10. I thought Judkins was good. I didn't think he was great. I thought he was very good. I don't know what his yards per carry ended up being.
Yards per carry were terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
He got hit in the backfield on every play.
Mostly it's because of the offensive line.
I got a stat for you real quick.
Yeah.
Steve, keep this graphic on the board.
3.4.
84 rush yards. Mind you, he had 46 on one rush. So you take out that 46-yard rush.
Yeah.
He had 38 yards on
and
24
he had 17
carries.
on another.
Yeah.
In the game, he had 84 total rush yards and 94 after contact.
That's incredible.
So think of it like that.
I thought he played a great game. I don't care. That's when stats can be misleading. Yards per carry is misleading because if Jerome Ford had taken every carry that he did, Jerome Ford would have 30 yards in the game.
Yeah, he doesn't break those 2.
Maybe.
So
Jerome Ford would have like 17 yards.
I thought he was good. I thought his break obviously was very nice. To our point on Friday, we kept saying, well, when you're running, it's like pounding a wall.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to fall on the 13th or the 14th, but maybe that 15th is the one that's the straw that broke the camel's back. And that's why with a back like Judkins, you just feed him for 4 quarters. He's going to eat. He's going to get his. And it could be on any single play. You don't know where it's going to come. And yesterday, he broke one really nice run. He had another decent run. But I will give flowers to Stefanski for this. The creativity at the goal line with I like what you called it, the wild dog.
You're a wild dog, man.
The first time I saw it was with the Dolphins 15 years ago. I don't know. It was really nice to see something that was cycled back. Obviously, he didn't create this, but it makes perfect sense. It gives you the extra blocker.
The quarterback can't block for himself.
He can't block for himself.
So you take him out, you put him in the game on the goal line. And the great thing about Quinshon Judkins is he usually makes the first guy miss. And if you can make one guy miss on the goal line, bull, there you go. It's a
and
difference
it'll get you yards after contact.
It's the difference between 7 points and 3 points.
Now, if the Browns had lost and those plays didn't work, you two would have been on here saying, "You can't do that."
Well, you know
you
what?
can't do that.
No,
I'm cool with that.
But sometimes the results matter, don't they? I mean, yes, they do.
No.
Yes, they 1,000% do.
If you
You're an analytics guy. Results matter.
If it's a smart play, it's a smart play. If they're all intended to work, if it doesn't work,
every
it doesn't
play
work.
you drop is supposed to be a touchdown. But, Bull, the beauty of this one is, in theory, every play is supposed to go for a touchdown. But when you're inside the 3 and you've got the extra blocker and you've got a running back who's always going to churn and get you yards after contact, this is a no-brainer.
I run it 4 times. If they ran it 4,
I think you know what?
If they ran it,
it's
4
our new
times,
cheat code.
If they ran it 4 times and didn't
you
get
can't do that all the time.
Teams are gonna. You know what? We're gonna end up using this like the tush push.
If they ran it 4 times and didn't get it,
until it stops working.
Look, hey, listen. We talk about this all the time. Jamar Chase had how many targets? 100. They threw it to him a back-to-back.
Sure.
23. I think
Until you stop it.
Until you stop it. But that's my best player. If I go down swinging with my best, I'm not drawing. I'm not
going to do it every time.
I'm good with that.
I am not drawing up no out-of-bounds plays for nobody.
I hear you, but
Bull, here's the beauty
if there's
of it.
no threat of a pass.
No. Stop.
There's no threat of a pass.
Here's the beauty of it. Yes, there is a threat of a pass. There is absolutely a threat of a pass.
That jump pass.
That's right.
It's coming.
And it is going to come. And teams will see this on tape. Now they know we've got it. So now it's going to be a lot more difficult to be successful. Yeah. That's when you add wrinkles. And that's where it's up to Stefanski to be second-level creative.
Yeah, I just don't see it as
a jump pass will come.
I see it as unique to this game. I mean, he may try it again, but I don't think it's going to become a regular thing.
How many times do you see it the rest of the year, over, under?
Under 3.
Over 3. I'll take the over.
Bring that.
I would take the over.
I'll take the over.
But not by much. Probably 5.
And
first of all, you need
here's 2 wrinkles. It's the jump pass, and then there's another running back in the backfield and the read option with it. There's 2 right there. Oh, by the way.
And that stretches it out.
Here's the read option. Oh, there was a reverse coming back the other way with Isaiah Bond.
There
you go. 3 plays, Stefanski.
If they ran a reverse out of the Wildcat,
that'd be wild. That'd be wild. Crazy.
You would lose your mind.
Oh, my God.
It might be our first reverse that has ever worked. We've never run. When do we run successful reverses or ends around? We never do.
We ain't got enough tight ends
for
for
that.
that.
If they did that, it didn't work.
Tight ends win those reverses.
Oh, my God. He would.
Yes.
That's so true.
All right, guys, we're going to get to a bunch of different things today. We're going to move around. I want to get to the next topic. It's brought to us by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections like Josh Allen passing yards, Saquon Barkley rushing for a touchdown, and you're in the game. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after your first 5. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. G, we talked about this on the postgame show, so I want to give you the floor first on this one. But defensively, the Browns blitzed fewer times than they had basically all season. They blitzed just 19% of dropbacks for Tua. They ran some simulated pressure looks, including the Grant Delpit delayed blitz that led to a late interception. It was arguably the most creative defensively we had seen the Browns under Jim Schwartz in the last 2 seasons. In your mind, why did Jim Schwartz decide this was the time to unlock the defensive creativity and give the Dolphins some different looks they hadn't seen before? And the results obviously speak for themselves.
Because people was chirping during the week. I love pressure. This is what I like. When you get pressure, your defensive players is coming out talking more than ever. When you got guys saying, like Grant Delpit said, they don't know how to win. I don't know what it feels like to win. I made the joke. Listen, when your wife comes into you and says, you say, hey, how's it doing? How you doing today, babe? How was work? And she says, work just like the rest of my life, something's going to have to give. Whoa, hey, bro, you might want.
It's a red flag.
Hey, bro, you might want to sit down. Give her your passcode. You might want to get some flowers and some chocolate straw. So when she say something got to give, and it's I'm letting you dudes know right now. Don't be like G. Bush. Don't let it go over your head. But by the way, when Myles Garrett says, "Hey, listen, let me knock on your door. Hey, I know we can get home before, and I am the defensive player of the year. I get all that." but can you give me a little help, bro? I mean, we can get home with 4, but give me a little pressure. Just sneak up and act like you're going to blitz once in a while. You know how hard it is to play rushing 4 and playing man coverage in the back end? You know how taxing that is on people? There's no room for error, no margin for error. So he says, give me something. So Jim Schwartz comes in and cooks up. Now, Jim, he's a solid coach. Jim knows what he's going to do, and he's not going to deviate too much. He said, now, Miles, we're going to have to give you a give and take here. You said you want blitzes. I'm still not going to blitz. We only going to rush 4, but we're going to bring it from other different places.
Different 4.
Yeah, we're going to, and Miles said, I'll compromise. But you see what happens. I saw Tua confused. I saw Tua holding the football. And in the last interception, he just threw the ball up for grabs. This is what happens when you can confuse people and you can go off schedule. I like the fact that he says something. And look, just because somebody says something don't mean it's negative. Don't mean that people is going crazy. I like pressure. When you 1-5, you better switch something up. When you 1-5 and playing the Dolphins in the Fire Bowl, you better come in with a new game plan and a new mindset. And I like the fact that the pressure was put on, and you saw what happened. I like the wrinkles. Now here's the thing: the Browns at home is a different story. Can you do that on the road?
I think part of the reason they did it is what you're saying, the greasy wheel, Myles Garrett.
Squeaky wheel.
Greasy wheel, squeaky wheel.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Never
That's
heard
true.
of a greasy wheel.
That sounds like
The
a greasy wheel is silent. You don't hear
true. It
it.
is quiet.
That sounds like a wing spot. Hey man, you trying to go
I
to the
dropped the
greasy
ball
wheel?
on that
to get
one.
some
The
wings?
greasy wheel.
I
Greasy
dropped
wheel
the ball
got
on that one.
fire garlic parmesan wings.
But
Start over.
it's also that the Dolphins are the worst team the Browns have faced, right? Tua's the worst, well, outside of Carson Wentz. Tua's maybe he's worse than Carson Wentz. I don't know. He's clearly one of the worst quarterbacks they've faced all year. A-Chain obviously is one of the best backs in the league, and Waddle's a solid receiver. But the rest of their skill position talent on Miami is garbage. Their offensive line is garbage. And so the Browns knew they could take more chances and be more creative against the Dolphins. Also, they've probably figured that their offense would be able to do at least a little bit against the Dolphins because the Dolphins' defense stinks. So they were able to take chances more in this game as opposed to when they've played, which is the case in the first 6 weeks, outside of Minnesota, when they've played against other teams with much better quarterback play.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, you're not going to do that against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Right. It's just, I mean, not as much.
No.
Maybe they should, but you're going to play more conservatively.
I'm a mix of you guys, exactly. The way I saw it was the Browns blitzed Jim Schwartz this week. It was a safety blitz. They sent Myles Garrett, but they also sent Grant Delpit. Grant Delpit's comments, guys, were heavy. Grant Delpit's comments were red flags and alarm bells ringing. When you have a player on the team at week 6 talking about, I don't even remember what it feels like to win, and you could hear what he wanted to say in his voice between his words, if that makes sense. Same with Myles Garrett. When Myles was talking about Joe Flacco and his performance at Cincinnati, you were there, weren't you? Didn't you say you were going to go over there for that?
Yeah, but Miles takes too long to talk on Friday, so I left before.
Okay. I thought the Myles Garrett sound was very telling because, yes, he used words to convey messages, but you could have had the sound down and you could have explained, you could have looked at him and said, that's a beaten man right there. All of his nonverbal communication, it was screaming, help. I think he might have even been blinking in Morse code, SOS. Mm-hmm. These guys want to win. And what I love most about it, and Bull, I think you're right, I think Jim Schwartz wouldn't have done this if it was before the Pittsburgh week, because Aaron Rodgers is going to eat that kind of pressure up. He always does. But knowing that it's Tua, knowing that he's wounded, the team is wounded, they're playing without their deep threat, their coach is swimming for his life.
Yeah.
I think it all added up to the perfect storm, and Jim said, you know what? And you're right. I don't think we're going to see a new, different Jim Schwartz moving forward because it worked.
Yeah.
He deviates here and there, very little. He's got his core principles, his tent poles of defense that he adheres to, and he's not going to veer from those. But I think yesterday was a great example of a coach who is pretty tied to doing something one way, saying, I'm reading the room. I'm hearing what they want to do. maybe we've got the horses to do it. Let them run.
Yeah, and I think we could see it against New England, who, even though New England's playing well, they have a young quarterback,
Right.
and they don't have elite skill position players.
They don't.
And then the Jets, obviously, are a total
Did
disaster.
Travion Henderson get hurt yesterday?
I don't know.
He's
but
just
was-
deep in
Oh
the
my
doghouse.
God, he had
Very-
2 carries for 5 yards. What did he do?
Buried in
Deep in
Vrabel's
the doghouse.
What did he do? Do we know?
They
Lack of toughness, maybe.
Prefer Stevenson.
I know one thing with Mike is toughness. If you don't have it.
Back. Now listen, Drake May is a young quarterback, but
playing great.
He don't be
He
playing.
looked
No, he's
really
playing
good
great.
yesterday.
He don't be playing young. I don't like that.
Question for you guys real quick.
Well, hold on. Jason didn't
Jay
hear.
I mean, you guys covered it. There's not.
Well, this is about the defense because it'll lead Jason to what he's getting to.
Yeah.
They had 4 takeaways yesterday, 3 on defense, 1 on special teams. Do you remember the last time the Browns had 4 takeaways in one game?
Was it? I'm throwing out a guess.
Bengals in 23?
Is it
Arizona, Clayton Tune.
Nope, not that.
was it the?
It's been in the UCSS era.
I
It's the
lost-
only-
I lost you
It's
on
in
that
the
game.
UCSS era. That's why I'm asking. We had a.
It was?
We had a Victory Monday show about that game.
23? Was it in 23?
It was in 23.
It wasn't the Bengals game?
Was not the Bengals in 23.
The Ravens?
No, sir, was not the
They
Ravens.
played a lot of crappy quarterbacks.
Yeah, they did have some bad
In
teams in
23.
there.
Ironically, I'll give you a hint because this is fun. They gave up 38 points in the game while forcing 4 turnovers. They still forced 4 turnovers.
Oh, my God.
They lost?
They won the game.
Oh.
138.
It had to be 41-38.
I just looked at their schedule from 23 yesterday, so I should know this.
Is it the Texans?
Gardner Minshew. The game.
Oh,
Gardner-
yeah. That was a wild game.
That's when
Nuts.
Miles jumped.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a lot. That is when Miles
Miles
jumped.
won
and
that
blocked him.
game.
It's a little different because it wasn't necessarily interceptions, but they
Yeah,
had.
right.
But that was the last time the Browns forced 4 turnovers a game. It was literally 2 years ago to the day. It was Week 7 of 2023.
Man.
4 turnovers against Dolphins yesterday, 2025, Week 7.
They had a safety that game, didn't they?
They had a strip sack in the end zone.
Oh,
Defensive
okay,
touchdown.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yesterday
gotcha.
was the
Jason,
most,
you were saying, I didn't mean to cut you off. but I
yesterday
wanted
was
to
the most
mention that.
lopsided win since Arizona. That
Yeah.
Clayton Tune game, they won by, I think, 27 that game. I got nothing to add. These guys covered it, except, did you say they blitzed less yesterday?
They did. Let me find the exact stat.
That's
I believe it was
surprising because
19%.
watching it live, it felt like they blitzed
Yeah.
more.
Well, you know what? That means their blitzes were impactful.
Like,
We
just
remember
watching
them.
the game live, I thought, like, they really sort of cut loose yesterday more than usual. If the numbers say they blitzed less, that's surprising. That's really surprising.
Next Gen. So according to Next Gen, they only blitzed Tua on 19.2% of his dropbacks.
Now,
interesting.
to give them a perspective, what is the definition of blitz?
More than 4.
A five man.
I
Yeah.
wonder, though.
And then you're right. What they were doing was they were sending 4, but not the 4 that they were advertising.
Yeah.
They were dropping out and
then
sending
bring somebody.
defensive backs in.
I also
That's
wonder
confusing.
if, like, later in the game they stopped. It seemed like they stopped blitzing in the second half because they were up so big.
That could be true.
You didn't want to
too.
just
Yeah.
give up a big
Maybe.
play.
Because it
Maybe.
felt like they were
Early in the
really
game, it
bringing-
felt like they were blitzing a
Yes.
lot.
I wonder, does
Yes.
it say what how efficient those blitzes were? It seems like the blitzes were impactful. Like they were getting sacks and turnovers on blitzes, it felt like.
I mean, Tua's success rate was abysmal.
Bad.
So, like, literally abysmal. So
I don't know what he was thinking on that
Didn't
last
you
throw.
have numbers in your 5-pack of stats about this?
How Tua is much better when he's blitzed with more guys and much worse when you get pressure with 4. Yeah.
All you want to really now, I think when you have blitzes, more than anything, you just want to give people the illusion of it, or where is it coming from? Like if you make a quarterback have to diagnose or think, okay, well, is this guy coming or not? It gives you another another second possibly that guys can cover or keep, in the back end. It gives you another opportunity for you guys to get home. And the way the defensive line plays, they're penetrators, and so they'll figure a way to get there. I like what Myles Garrett said is just, hey, look, I know we can do this. We know we got 4 guys that can get home. We've seen this happen. But just give us a little something to give us another opportunity, another second to get home if you give them a different look.
All right, any other thoughts on defense? We're ready to move on. I think we're going to get through a bunch of these relatively quickly today, which is good because I have some fun stuff at the end. But let's get to our next topic. It's brought to us by a new sponsor, guys. Rippling is now a proud sponsor of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. If you're a business owner, here's the truth. SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your teams, and they simply don't work together. That's not SaaS, that's sad. software as a disservice. That's why you need Rippling. Rippling's the unified platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools with one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. And right now, you can get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/LockedOnNFL. Learn more at Rippling, RIPPLING.com/LockedOnNFL. That's rippling.com/LockedOnNFL for 6 months free. We talked about Quinshon Judkins. I want to dive a little deeper into something that the Browns did yesterday for Quinshon Judkins and how it impacts the Browns rookie running back moving forward. But obviously scored 3 touchdowns yesterday.
Yeah.
It's the first 3-touchdown game for any Browns position player since Nick Chubb did it in 2022. He leads the NFL in 30-yard runs this year.
Okay.
Jason, when you look at Quinshon Judkins, how he's being used, how teams know he is the focal point of their offense, and the fact that he's continuing to have success. I mentioned 84 rush yards yesterday, 94 of those after contact, which means he was hitting the backfield and then gained more yards than he had total yards in the entire game. How quickly are we going to have conversations about Quinshon Judkins being in that top tier, that elusive few with, maybe not in that Bijan and Christian McCaffrey level, Jonathan Taylor level yet, but right below them as a rookie? Is he at that class yet?
Yeah. And what's most remarkable is he's doing this with no training camp. And
no offensive line.
Well, I think they're better run blockers through the middle. The outside is atrocious.
He's getting hit in the backfield.
And there were
on
times
almost every
yesterday.
play.
Yeah, I know.
He got hit
because
as he was getting the ball.
Part of that is because there's no threat to the pass game, so teams are going to load up. Like, it no matter how good your offensive line is, you're going to get overwhelmed when you have no threat of the pass. And right now, the Browns have no threat in the pass game whatsoever. So yeah, it's going to be tough sledding for these guys. But he's really freaking good. And Kevin joked yesterday, I don't want to say training camp isn't important because I have a lot of veterans at my door tomorrow saying I ain't coming to training camp next year. But to his, obviously we know the summer that he had and some of the issues that he had, but to his credit, clearly he stayed in shape. And we talked about the difference in being in shape and being in game shape. It's remarkable that he's been able to come in as quickly as he has and adapt as well as he has with as little practice time as he's had. And, we talked about why wasn't he in at the goal line against Pittsburgh. I think it was, I do think he's behind still a little bit in some of the blitz pickups and some of the pass protections, which is why you still see Ford out there in those instances. But when he gets that down, I said before, this guy's going to be really freaking good. We can stop with as much as everybody loves Nick Chubb, we can stop with the Chubb talk because Quinshon is that guy, and it's really been impressive to watch him, and he's only going to continue to get better from here.
He looks amazing. I thought what he did yesterday was so impressive. To get 3 touchdowns, 2 in the Wildcat, when the defense knows 100% he's keeping the ball.
Yeah, we've already marketed Wild Dog. You must change it.
Did you guys see that?
It's the Wild Dog. It's
Wild Dog?
He bobbled the one snap.
He did.
Did they show that?
He did. Yeah. You could clearly see it.
And
that was almost a fumble, and he still scored.
And the long touchdown run was great. He's definitely already in that second tier of running backs in the NFL. He can't be in the top tier until he, more consistent. He's got to do it longer. He's got to catch passes. Those top backs are on the field every play.
Imagine how good he would be
on a real offense
if there was a threat of a pass game.
Oh yeah, I'm saying if he were on the Chiefs, he'd be the story of the league.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with Ashton Genty, who's on a awful Raiders team too. He's a great talent too, but the guy's phenomenal. He's by far the best player on the team. I don't care about the yards per carry. I thought he was sensational in the game yesterday.
Best player on the offense.
I thought he was the best player on the field, period, to me.
Oh, I thought you were saying overall he's the best player. I thought you said he's clearly the best player on the team.
He was yesterday.
Or yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. And he's clearly the best player they have on offense.
Tyson Campbell played a game. He was pretty good.
Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you this. So this is what I've been mentioning. This is a great opportunity to break this down. Do you see how you can watch Judkins play, right? And everybody, there's no debating, there's no squinting. Ooh, is he good? Not really good. Right. I think he kind of might be. He might need to work on this. And in a couple years, if he work on this, he'll be. Nah, you see it immediately. And this is what I'm talking about, what you need to look at when you're drafting players. When you're drafting players, there is an undeniable look that it has. It's an undeniable feel. You know when they're good. You got one at running back. Now, all you have to do is then translate that to a wide receiver. Figure out if you can get one of these, right, and you get another one at wide receiver, now you change the whole trajectory. Because when you get a guy like this at wide receiver, it then puts defenses in a position where now you're, instead of being a JV team in the XFL or UFL, you are now in the National Football League. Because most good offenses have a dude on the outside where you can't load up on. They got a dude at running back that you're going to have a problem with. And then you don't have to have top 5 Burrow, Lamar Jackson. I would still love to have that. Don't get me wrong. I'm Project Stockpile. I'll take all 3 levels. That's how I can guarantee that I could be in the mix. But Judkins is a dude. And by the way, the rest of the season, Kevin Stefanski, learn from what Nick Chubb did. You know why? You can't control when injuries happen. You can't save nobody's career. I'm about to wear Quinshon Judkins out.
Use him.
He about to listen.
Well, he had 20 carries in the first half.
We're gonna run that back again next week. He
or
gonna
18,
be hitting.
whatever.
He gonna have 24. If it take 24, 26, I'm counting by 2s. It don't matter. I'm smacking him. Everybody over the head with 10. You know, if you
look at that.
Look,
he's got more than everybody else put together.
73.
Stop.
He's got 3 times what everybody else has.
Yeah.
He's 25, 26 carries, and if it takes you doing that 4 times on the goal line, I completely endorse it.
I guess it wasn't that bold a prediction saying that Judkins was going to lead the team in rushing.
No,
we didn't know he was just going to be back so quick at the time. But by the way, this week's bold prediction, I said both running backs would have more yards than the quarterbacks.
You did.
I wasn't right, but it was actually pretty close.
I was thinking about that in the fourth
It was
quarter.
close.
Bull, I understand your apprehension to putting him into a tier 1 right now.
Oh, yeah, he's not.
I understand that.
Yeah.
He's played 6 games.
It's not just that. He's
get
not the
that.
complete back that the other guys are.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he is on pace, if he stays healthy, to go over 1,300, I think it's 1,400 yards. That puts guys into elite status when you're rushing for 1,400 yards. The 2 games the Browns have won, Judkins played great. Against Green Bay, he had a great game. He's scoring touchdowns, which is that. I know that's the object of the game, but we didn't have a touchdown scorer on our team anywhere. I mean, which always baffled me. Like, how do you win football games when you don't have a guy you don't win? But this guy has the nose for the goal line. He's going to be great in short yardage situations. That's why, again, going back to Pittsburgh, I know we beat that point like a drum, but like that he's not in the game when you've got it 1st and goal on the 3. I'll never understand or be able to listen to an explanation as to why he didn't.
Because they were never going to run it. I'm not agreeing with it.
Yeah,
I disagree with it, but that's why I wasn't in the game.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, I agree.
The fact that they're not going to run it.
Where was the wild dog against Pittsburgh?
Where was it? Where was the wild dog? I'm advocating the wild dog 3 times a game, Bull.
Yeah, I'd like to see it a lot.
He said they put it in. He said him and Tommy Reese put it in Thursday.
That late?
Because of the forecast.
Nah, good job.
Wow, they stumbled upon this.
So because of the rain. And by the way, it wasn't as I don't think
not
it was
nearly as bad as what was predicted.
No.
But I mean, it was rainy. It wasn't great, but it wasn't.
I thought our field, and Aditi made this point. I think it was Aditi that talked about the 7-stud cleats. I thought the field held up pretty well.
It did.
By the way,
when you compare to what was going on last weekend,
that's a travesty.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
McDaniel sounded like he. I know he kind of always sounds like that, but he sounded like he was high when he talked to her.
I mean, he was.
He was.
Oh, going into the half?
Yeah,
he was.
I thought he sounded high.
I mean, he knew it was coming. Like that was the game for him. It was done. He's done.
Yeah.
I don't care if he didn't gonna get fired after that game. He was looking around like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I need to go on Zillow to find me.
I wonder if they're not firing him because it's like, no. We're not taking the easy way out.
You suffer.
If we got to go through this, you
love
got to
that.
go through this.
No,
right.
Now you're going to coach your way out of this.
We're paying you.
Yeah, go ahead and
earn it.
You're going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think that Judkins has all of the tools to, within 2 or 3 years, be looked at as one of those guys that you're taking with your first pick in the fantasy draft. That's how highly I think of this
He's
guy.
not there yet, but
Not there yet, but he will be.
But I think he could be there by
You look
next year.
surprised by that.
No, I'm just sitting.
Well, he's got to have this. He's got to catch more passes.
He's got to add that, right.
If you're talking about fantasy,
100%. But Bull, I think that's something that you add in. I don't think that's like a skill set that he can't
I
learn.
don't know. Jameer Gibbs did it right away.
Yeah.
I don't care about fantasy. He has to learn pass protection.
Yeah,
No,
that's the big
step
one.
from an
To me,
NFL.
he can't
Blitz
be off
pick
the
up.
field
He has
on
to
third
become
down.
a more complete back.
Blitz
but
pick
he,
up and pass, which, by the
he looks
way,
phenomenal.
he probably would have had he been here for training camp.
It would have helped him, yeah.
But since he missed all of that, like, it is what it is for this year. Like,
Yeah.
he's there's not enough time.
Bull, I'm gonna tell you what. I
Yeah.
was just sitting there. I looked surprised because I was sitting there in the back of my mind thinking about, like, you imagine if he get 1,300, what kind of headlines and topics Mike McNugget's gonna come up with? Is Quinshon Judkins underrated? They don't have him in the top 5 running backs. Should he be higher in the top 3? And of course,
That's going to be an off-season
That's
topic.
a June
Yeah.
topic.
Oh,
that is a
yeah.
June topic.
Listen, hold that. File that away, McNuggets.
McNuggets, by the way, if y'all don't know, McNuggets keeps a Rolodex of 40 to 50 topics, like rap freestyle.
Sure.
And his
Evergreens.
holsters.
As
Evergreen.
good as, obviously, we forget about Nick Chubb now, but as good as Judkins is, to me, Nick Chubb as a rookie so far more impressive.
Yeah, he's a good.
Nick Chubb was,
I mean, that's Chubb, though.
We knew right away with Nick Chubb.
and
what
we know
had.
with Judkins too. I mean, it's this.
I mean, that's Chubb.
He'll probably be similar. He'll probably, we'll see who ends up having a better career.
I mean, Chubb was, prime
Let's not forget
Chubb
how
was
special he
different.
was at his
It's
prime.
different. He different.
Yeah.
But this guy
He's gonna
right
have to
here,
do some work to
this
make
guy
us
is gonna
forget
be
about
too.
that.
The difference to me, Chubb didn't have anybody to follow. You know, like, who was the big back here before Chubb?
Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
that doesn't
Ruben
count.
That's who
Grant
was
on
starting
Carlos
ahead of
Hyde's
him.
name.
But and I'll speak for me, not you guys. I was kind of taken aback when, he had a couple good runs, but you don't know until you see it over an extended.
Sure.
And his first start was like, oh, wow, okay, well, there's something. And maybe that's my fault because I should have
Talking
known.
about Chubb.
Yeah.
Well, he had that bad injury in college.
That's
and
the
so,
thing.
Yeah.
And he was the second running back taken from his school that year.
Hey,
Remember,
so-
the Patriots drafted.
He was splitting
Sony
carries
Michel.
early. in the
Michelle.
Yeah, he was.
Before.
So Judkins,
Yeah.
Judkins is walking in having to follow Chubb.
Right.
Everybody's very familiar with him because he went to
Yeah.
Ohio State.
Right.
It just
but he's
feels-
also not having to split carries,
Correct.
which Chubb was.
Correct.
That's why they got rid of Carlos Hyde because they were like, we got to give Chubb the ball.
Yeah,
more.
he needs to run.
Yeah.
They still had a third back there. I don't know, maybe it was Duke Johnson. I don't remember who it was.
I think it was Duke.
The third back.
And a contract dispute.
Yeah, I remember that.
That Baker spoke of.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He learned a lesson. Keep other man's money issues out of your mouth.
Yeah.
He did.
All right, guys, let's get to our next topic, brought to us by Mazda. For those who keep the game moving forward, it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible, reminding us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move, be moved. Jay, the Browns did not ask Dillon Gabriel to do much yesterday.
Right.
It was a very basic game plan. They ran the ball significantly more than they passed it. The final numbers for Gabriel, incredibly pedestrian, 13 for 18 for 116 yards, a 6.4 yard per completion average, no touchdowns, no picks. He was sacked twice. He had a quarterback rating of 89 and a total QBR of 23.5. People afterwards were jumping into conclusions, good, bad, whatever it was, in terms of how this game impacted their evaluation of Dillon Gabriel. So I wanted to ask this question to you guys, and I'll let this roll however it goes. Was there anything to take away from yesterday that should impact what you thought of Dillon Gabriel prior to yesterday's game? Did we learn anything about Dillon Gabriel, good, bad, indifferent, from what he did against the Dolphins?
I think there's always something to be learned, and there were little things. His sacks are bad sacks. The sack he took, it was the second sack he took. He didn't even move. He might as well have been Joe Flacco. I mean, move off your spot when the pocket is collapsing. And I don't know if that's a lack of pocket awareness. I'm not sure, but I know he was not that guy in Oregon. I remember when Ohio State played him, he was slippery. He was hard to get to. And maybe he hasn't gotten to that confidence level yet. I'm not sure. I do want to go back and look at everything that went on in that play. I haven't done that yet. So I wasn't impressed with the sack that he took, the second one that he took. I don't want to jinx anything, but he hasn't thrown an interception.
Well,
in
didn't he throw a
3
pick
games.
that got overturned?
He did.
He
Yes.
did, but
On a
I mean,
terrible
technically,
call.
yeah,
Yeah.
technically
Yes.
he hasn't thrown a pick.
He should have 5, but somehow he has 0.
And you know what? Those all come out in the wash. So later, when he gets the ball intercepted that goes off his wide receiver's
Yeah.
hands,
Yeah.
like the Green Bay and Cincinnati thing. No, you shouldn't have won against Green Bay, and you should have won against Cincinnati. It's a long season. Over the course of the season, as the sample size goes up, all those things will regress to the mean. But for me, I think what he was allowed, what Stefanski was allowed to do yesterday was he wants to slow walk this kid, clearly. And that's what he's doing. He's giving him baby-sized bites. He's not overwhelming him with the entire playbook. He's not asked to throw deep. He's basically executing an extended run game. And so far, he hasn't screwed that up, which is good because the way you get more is to handle what they're giving you. And so far, I feel like he has executed what they've given him. I know he was 13 of 18. I know there were at least 2 drops, and I mean drops that were absolute drops. And then suddenly, if those are catches, he's 15 of 18. And I know maybe there was a ball or 2 caught that shouldn't have been caught. But he hasn't impressed me. He certainly hasn't deserved to get the bench. But there are little things there I'm sure that the coaching staff they're honing in on, things that can make him better.
I think his best game is Minnesota.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And that's a little odd because that was when I was like, man, I don't know. It's a disrupted practice week. He's making his first start. I thought he looked better against Minnesota than he has in either last 2. Yesterday, again, going back, they had the conversation on Thursday where they put in the Wildcat because they were afraid of the weather. They were concerned about the weather with the rain and the high winds. So clearly, that tells you the entire game plan was built around the weather.
Yeah.
And they were trying to just not put him in harm's way. And there was nothing stand out about his performance yesterday. I think one of the fence rider questions was, will he have a turnover? I said yes.
I did too.
I thought he would because you can't live the way he was living in Pittsburgh. That's going to catch up to you.
And with the weather.
Yeah.
You'd expect.
And certainly he should have had a pick yesterday. He got totally bailed out on that call. That was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't understand that call either.
Terrible
Why
call.
in the hell did they make that call that pass interference?
So it is what it is. Like, listen, he's a 3rd-round pick. I don't think the plan was ever for him to be playing this early. When they drafted him on draft night, I don't think anybody thought inside that building that he was going to be the starting quarterback by October, but they're making the best of what they can with the situation that they're in, and that means a lot of seatbelts and guardrails.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was, as I was watching the game, I was like, man, you know what? This good dude came and cut my grass. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a little too high, though, man. I told my wife that she might want to get the lawnmower out, but then again, she got allergies. So I went in the phone book, and you say, G. Bush, what are you talking about? Those are the things that I think about when Dillon Gabriel was playing quarterback.
So he didn't capture your attention.
Yeah, no, it's mid. It's below mid, actually, to be honest with you.
It's below average, did you think?
Well, look, there was another play where he threw the ball, and I thought it was an interception because it went right through the defender's back.
I don't know how it was an interception. It looked like he threw it through the guy's body.
I said the same thing. I said to Zach in the press box, they caught that? I thought
it was too.
Yeah. So he has
a good DB too.
He has a lot of turnover-worthy throws. I look at it from a perspective, it doesn't change what I think. I think if you need Dillon Gabriel to come into a game and he's your backup, he can give you a chance to tread water, and he's not going to kill you too much, right?
Yeah.
I think he can learn what you want to do, but in terms of being a franchise quarterback, I didn't see it coming out of college. I kind of don't see it now. And I've always said the judge of a really good quarterback and what you want to look for, in my opinion, is I'm looking 10 to 25 yards downfield. What are you doing in your throws 10 to 25? Every quarterback can do the dink and dunk stuff, but we saw with Joe Flacco what it looks like when you do have somebody that is able and willing to put the ball downfield. It opens other things up in terms of the running game. Quinshon Judkins is, they playing everybody in the phone booth with him.
I'm surprised they threw 5 passes more than 10 yards downfield. I don't remember them.
His average depth of target for most of the game was under 3 yards.
Well, 8 passes were behind the line of scrimmage.
It was 2.3, and then I think it finished at like 4.8. Yeah. But for most of the game, his average depth of target was less than 3 yards.
And that's the thing is, I want to evaluate this kid, but if they just keep spoon feeding him, it's hard. Because to your point, G, anybody can make. He was 8 of 8 on throws behind the line of scrimmage. Well, those are gimmies.
That's not going.
Take those out, and he's 5 of 10.
But there's so many holes in the dam. All right, well, let him drop back and let it rip with terrible tackles.
I know, and no wide receivers open.
You know how that's going to end.
And so I guess this is the way it's going to look. This is it. You better run it.
Bull, and I'll
Yeah.
say this. You can win football games, and you can praise the Browns for winning a game that they should win, but you can also critique the quarterback play and say that's not going to be sustainable. If he continues to play that way, sooner rather than later, they're going to sit down and say, all right, we're going to Sheduer Sanders and see what he got.
First of all, this was a hard game to watch. I mean, it was boring
was.
as hell.
Yeah, it was a
especially
boring
the once the Browns got the pick six to start the second half, you knew the game was over. Even as bad as the Browns have been, you're like, the Dolphins are not doing anything here. It was so boring. You had the Chris Bryant of broadcasters calling the game, Spiro Ditas.
Oh, they went in the time machine talking about the 2017
Oh, my
times.
God.
I said, this game is over, bro.
Spiro Ditas hit the scene like a house of cards, and now he's
And Archuleta kept talking about how he really feels sorry for this
my
fan
God,
base.
Archuleta's putting
His
me
wife's
asleep.
parents are from here, and it felt like a pity party for the Browns.
God. But and then they were just going on and on about the quarterbacks, even though the quarterbacks really didn't do anything. It was weird. But anyway, in terms of Dillon Gabriel, again, it's you hate to go overboard because it's 3 games. It's 3 games with a crappy supporting cast. So it's hard to give a full evaluation of him. But I'm going to say what I've said the last 2 weeks and what I've said all along. I don't see anything in this guy that makes me think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. I'll admit it's not fair because he hasn't played enough and he doesn't have good talent around him. But I just feel like if you had that quarterback, you'd see it a little, right? Wouldn't you?
You should see something.
There's nothing with this guy. Again, he's not terrible, but there's nothing I've seen with this guy in the preseason and training camp and in the season so far that makes me think he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. That's it.
Which means we're back to square one at the end of the year.
Well, we'll see once Sheduer Sanders gets his shot, but clearly he's not ready yet, or at least they think he's not ready. So we'll see. It was interesting that I will save it for later because we're talking about Sheduer later.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Well, do we want to go to the Sheduer thing now? Because you brought it
Might
up.
as well.
I mean, it
flows well.
I do
Let
think.
me do a read and we can
Yeah.
get into that real quick. So
Yeah.
we're going to do it anyway. But this next topic is brought to us by FanDuel, guys. The NFL season's here. FanDuel is an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to download the FanDuel app and get things started today. So on our post-game show yesterday, G and I did the post-game show, and we got about 50 super chats. About 35 are related to Sheduer Sanders. Why people were mad and why they were curious, why they were trying to rationalize the fact that he didn't get in the game in garbage time for that final last drive with about 3 minutes left in the game. G and I, we gave our thoughts on the post-game show. G, you can read yours in a sec. But, Bull, I want you to start because you just brought this up.
I mean, that's just nuts. Yeah. That's just nuts. First of all, putting him into the end of the game in a blowout, like why would you do that?
You're not going to throw the ball, so
I know. What is the
what are we
point
going
of
to
putting him in
evaluate
the
his handoff skills?
I don't understand. First of all the people going nuts about Sheduer yesterday, like he should play. Most of those people are not Browns fans. They're Sheduer fans, which is fine. It is what it is. But it is interesting to me that, and I'm going to make a lot of people angry with this because whatever reason, but I'm going to do it anyway. It is interesting to me that I noticed this specifically, so I was looking at it as much as I could in the game and spoke to a couple people, whatever, but I noticed in the Bengals game on Thursday when Joe Flacco, and maybe you guys noticed this too, I don't know. Every time Joe Flacco sat on the bench after the Bengals had a possession, Jake Browning, who's the Bengals backup, sat right next to him every time.
I know.
And Joe Burrow was actually at the game too, and he was sitting there
and he was helping too.
Yeah. So I noticed that Quinn Ewers was sitting next to Tua.
That's common,
all the
Bull.
time.
What you're saying is very common.
Sheduer Sanders, I don't think ever sat next to Dillon Gabriel during this game in between possessions.
I haven't seen it this year.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's something out of nothing. I just thought it was curious. Usually the backup quarterback, and again, maybe, when he was the third string, okay, maybe that's, but he's been the backup the last few weeks.
I would want, because usually those conversations are quarterback coach or coordinators upstairs, whoever is the highest ranking offensive coach is going over things with the quarterback.
Right.
Just stand
that's a
there
learning
and listen.
opportunity.
That's an opportunity to learn something.
So I'm just curious about that. I don't know why he's not.
Jade, is that odd to you? Because I've noticed that as well. Someone pointed it out to me,
Yeah.
and after they did, I've started looking for it, and I haven't seen him standing there to osmosis learn whatever that he can from the
He
conversation.
gets when they huddle up, like on the sideline on the timeout.
Yes.
And he gets in the mix there. But when the quarterback
and he is wearing a headset, which you would do. Of course.
I don't know. Is this something out of nothing? I'm just kind of trying to figure what's going on here.
No, he is typically, at least yesterday when I was watching the sideline, he was off to himself, or he was talking to Denzel Ward. He was not with Dillon going over the iPad. And
the backup is typically with him,
yes.
right? In that
Yes.
situation?
Usually is, yes. I'm just...
Jason doesn't want to get
No, I get it.
killed by-
Listen,
Well, no, I don't
said
care
it.
about that.
I said
I don't
it.
know why we're talking about this. I do know why.
Yeah.
But, this is silly.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it's not silly if he's not doing
No,
all he
the-
can to
the-
get better.
the reason I think it's relevant is because part of the
should
discussion
Sheduer
is he's
have been
not
put-
ready.
Should Sheduer have closed out the game to me is silly. Not
Oh,
what
that's
you're-
Oh,
of
yeah,
course.
that is silly.
That's
That is-
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at it first and foremost. The camera is not on Sheduer Sanders at all times. So there's actually a clip on YouTube where he gets with Dillon Gabriel as he's coming off the field and walking down the sideline.
I haven't seen that, and you're right. We don't know what's always going on.
We don't know. The thing is, this is how when you talk about backup quarterback, this is the thing where people talk about the noise on the outside and different things like that. Nobody watches the interaction between backup quarterbacks and regular quarterbacks. In regular teams, we don't care if Carson Wentz is standing next to Patrick Mahomes. You just watch Patrick Mahomes because he's good and you know what it is. But what happens is, because we are at a point that we want to watch and we need to figure out or justify why or why not is he not playing, then we got to go through these mental gymnastics. Trust me, when you're the backup quarterback, you got a headset. You know the game plan. You're in the meetings. They put the game plan in on practice. Obviously, he's involved in what they're doing and whatever the case may be. Another thing is sometimes you don't. It's two younger players, right? This is Sheduer Sanders and it's Dillon Gabriel. When you got a veteran, right, and a veteran is the backup, you can play that role because you want to get with him and say, "Here's
Right,
what
but
we
Jake
miss.
Browning was sitting with Joe Flacco.
But
he's a young player too.
But these are still again. That's a young player and an old player. So sometimes when you have two quarterbacks and you guys are the same age, compete for the same thing, sometimes you want to give people space. Like you want to give them an opportunity to figure out and don't be all over them and hovering them, because sometimes, think about this. People say, well, why is he in the camera? He went over to the kicker one time and they said, why is he in the camera with the kicker? Why is he talking? It's sometimes it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. In terms of, to me, that's a nothing burger. That's just
so
what it is.
if every other backup quarterback, I don't know that this is the case, but if every other backup quarterback is sitting there next to the quarterback in that situation and Sheduer's not, you still wouldn't think it's a big deal? I don't know that it's the case. I'm just asking you.
No, I wouldn't, because
What about this? Because, Jay, I think increasingly the narrative is it's starting to get out more that the Browns believe that he is not ready. That is
Joe Flacco said it this week.
Flacco said it. There's other players that have skirted around the issue, and there are I don't want to say leaks, but you hear things from inside teams all the time. And to me, and Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, it increasingly has become the narrative that he is not ready. Am I overstating that?
No, I mean, I've been saying it for
Okay,
months.
so with that in mind, and I don't know,
but you got to understand, there's multiple people that will say he is ready and they're excited to see him play. The thing of it is, you got to think about it. We sitting here talking about it, right? He's the backup quarterback. He's sitting there, he's learning, he's doing whatever the case may be. He's sitting there, he ain't saying nothing, he's learning. The narrative that we got to go week by week to say he's either ready or not ready is crazy. It's like, yo, at the end of the day, he's the backup quarterback supporting Dillon Gabriel, learning the game plan and doing it at a high level and just
But
sitting
gee,
there.
we're getting asked about it all the time, so it's not crazy to talk about.
Who's asking about
We're getting
readiness?
questions on in the YouTube chat every week, every day.
So here's how. Let me answer the question. You say, why did they put Sheduer Sanders in? First and foremost, and this isn't really college. This is the pros. They don't really be putting quarterbacks in garbage time. They don't take quarterbacks out. If you're the starting quarterback and you playing, they don't do garbage time. This ain't Florida or Tennessee.
You're right about that.
The quarterback's the quarterback. If we lose
Generally, yes. The Dolphins did it yesterday.
Which was why I was so surprised.
It
There was
would've
so
made
much
no sense
chatter
to put
about
Sheduer in.
putting Sheduer in.
That
I'm like,
made no sense.
If it was Ohio State,
they don't do that. So, and that by the way, I've been consistent. I even had a problem when they put Dillon Gabriel in when Flacco was in. I'm like, let him finish the game and figure it out. If you want to play him and start him, give him a week to prepare and start him. Now, secondly, from a player's perspective, no players want to go into games when they are cold and not ready. And when I mean not ready, not mentally ready, I'm saying it's a rainy day. You haven't warmed up. You've been on the sidelines. It's wet outside. You're playing against a team. The game is out of tow. Now think about it. If you put him in a game and something happens where he gets hurt, then you're going to say what?
Yeah, why was he in there in the first place?
Why was he in the first place?
Yeah, I don't.
It's a lose-lose.
That conversation
because,
is
G,
silly.
you know this, and this is why I thought it was kind of a silly conversation. I know that we have to respond to all of the comments. I get that. But to just demonstrate that all of the comments are silly, I think we're all in agreement. There's no way you're going to put him in a game in that situation.
No.
I think it's demeaning to him. Because when he does get his chance to play, don't put handcuffs on him. Let him play. And what would he have done yesterday? Turned around and given the ball to 10.
That would have been the dumbest thing ever.
What do we learn from that? Oh, man, his handoff game is on point. He needs to play. You're not going to do anything positive.
No, that's stupid.
It's not. Bro, any player. Ask Tyvis. Go ask him. Ask any player. If you sit on that sideline and they say you going in, now this is different. If somebody gets hurt or the coach says, hey, this guy's hurt, obviously every teammate is going to go into the football game because your team needs you.
With excitement, too.
With excitement.
You want to play.
Here's the thing. But if it's
garbage time.
It's garbage time and I'm handing the ball off. No. Let him finish his breakfast. Like let him finish what he is. Here's the thing I got to say, and I'll give it back to the rest of the audience. Listen, when he get an opportunity to play, let him have an opportunity to play
for real.
For real.
Yeah.
Them snaps at the end of the game is not going to do anything for his development, nothing. Those are snaps, handoffs, and that's window dressing. I'm not trying to see window dressing. Give Dillon Gabriel his opportunity to play and see what he can do. If it ain't looking like what it's supposed to look like in a couple of weeks, he's going to be out of here anyway. Yep. So then you got a bye week after that to get ready and figure it out. And then you can give the ball to Sheduer Sanders and say, listen, let's go and see what you can do.
1,000%.
But that is not going to do nothing for if he hands the ball off 6 times, they're not going to turn around and say, oh, he's a franchise quarterback. That's not it.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. So give him the whole opportunity.
One thing, too, because it does sound like it's a pile-on Sheduer that we point out that he's not sitting with the quarterback. To G's point, we don't know what's going on. What the camera shows us on the sidelines is approximately 3% of the entire broadcast.
Yeah,
so we don't know for
Jay,
sure.
somebody said something to me about it last week. And then, so I was looking at it this week, and then I spoke to the same person this week, and the person said to me, yeah, he doesn't sit by him. I don't know that that's a big deal. I don't know that other teams don't do it.
Right.
I don't know if it's what's happening.
Jay would know because if he wanted, he could spyglass him the entire game.
The person that told me this was at the game.
Well, then that gives it a little bit more credibility.
But I'm not saying it's necessarily a deal because I don't know what other teams do.
On the flip side to that, if I'm a young quarterback, I have to ask, everything I do, is it making me better? And to that point, you only get 3 hours of live bullets a week. So how would I, as a young player, choose to spend those hours? I'm going to be immersed. I'm not going to stand on the sideline and talk to Denzel or the kicker. I am going to immerse myself into the offensive operation. And if that means, and I like what you said about giving the quarterback his space. I like that. But you can eavesdrop. Maybe you're standing behind him on the bench, but you can still hear the coach. Again, how am I spending every second of my day? If I'm judging my time management, I'm asking this question about every second. Is this making me better or not? And in that situation, I think it's obvious you're going to learn something if you're standing and hearing those conversations.
Well, maybe he's hearing it on the headphones.
Talking to Dillon Gabriel.
Who knows? I don't know.
I mean, that headset is live. So when they throw the ball, he hear it. When they call the play, he hear it. During TV timeouts, when you have a TV timeout, there's a whole 3 to 5 minutes of beer commercials. And guess what? They're talking to the offensive staff. They're talking to the coach. When you're the backup quarterback, you know the game plan. The thing that we gotta do and we gotta stop is we gotta stop assuming and get down to the nitty-gritty of football. Dillon Gabriel is the quarterback at this point. We need to evaluate that. We can't be sitting here evaluating how many times Sheduer Sanders is sitting there, or if he has a backwards hat, or what is he doing on this day. Listen, at some point, I get it. The pushback is people are so fiercely pro-Sheduer that there's a natural human tendency to push back against that, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here as an analyst and sit there and count how many times he's standing next to Dillon Gabriel during the game in order to then say, well, look, he's not ready to play. The Cleveland Browns said this. For everything that we said, Bailey Zappi was supposed to be the backup quarterback. He thought the Cleveland Browns organization made the decision that he was at a place in his career where they trusted him to be the backup. So I either have to take their word for it, like everybody wants me to do, or I got to sit here and think about reasons as to why this is happening. Either way, it's not productive. It's about what's going on in the film, and we're not sitting there in the locker rooms. And by the way, there are multiple people, I consistently say, there are veterans on this team that are excited to see Sheduer Sanders play. And they feel like Myles Garrett says, I see him in the coach's office all the time. I walk right by there. I like what he's doing. At the end of the day, it's about seeing what he's going to do on the field.
I think the fans are excited to see him play too.
Oh,
I want to see what he is.
Right.
But
I think we all want to see him play.
The problem is, and this is why you don't draft two quarterbacks in the same draft. There's a myriad of reasons why you don't do that, but in this particular case, you can only evaluate one at a time. It's not like they're wide receivers and you can put two of them in the game at the same time and they can rack up plays. We can only evaluate one quarterback at a time. And right now, we're still reading the book on Dillon Gabriel. When we've got enough intel as to what the book looks like, then we have to put that book down and simultaneously read two at once and pick this book up and see what he can do. When he comes into the game, no matter what you're doing in your house, and people watch with varying levels of intensity. Some people are glued and they don't want to be talked to. Other people are doing things around the house. When he comes in for the first time, the 50% of the fans that are just kind of milling about and it's background noise are going to be at the edge of their seat, glued to the television, because we are all excited about what this kid could be.
There's been so much talk about it. You want to know what's
We want to see it.
Yeah.
We want to see it.
You can take two quarterbacks in a draft. The issue here, to me,
it's only happened once or twice.
But you can do it. But when the one that comes to mind, obviously, is Washington.
Right.
And you had a clear cut, this is the guy.
Yeah.
And you had a clear cut, this is a
the
development.
Backup. Yes.
This is a development. That's not the case here.
No.
Because you took one in the third round and you took one in the fifth round, and the whole package that comes with the fifth round guy. That's the issue that they're running into with this.
And the fifth round guy was suggested by many people to be the second player taken.
It's not that they took two rookie quarterbacks. That's not the issue. It's the two that they took and the round that they took them in. Here's the only thing I'll say. Yes, he's usually not near Dillon. I don't think that's not going to impact what kind of quarterback he is when he gets there. I honestly think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you have two rookies now. And Shedeur's never been a backup. Yeah. And he doesn't know how a backup is supposed to operate.
That's a good point.
Usually on an NFL sideline, yes, you see the backup, because a lot of times the backup is a valuable set of eyes. When the bullets are flying with the starter, the backup can say, I don't know if you saw this. There was this, there was that. Right. And they don't have that right now, partly because they've got two rookies out there.
Sure.
So there isn't that's the one role where Flacco could have helped, or Pickett, or Bailey Zappi, or someone else could help as the veteran who has seen it enough to be able to help the rookie in that spot.
What is the rule on quarterbacks? Can Zappi be on the sidelines?
No, because he's not on the 53. Well, no,
why
because
was
he's
Joe
not on the 53.
But Joe Burrow was on the sideline the other night.
Right.
Why could Joe Burrow be there? Is it because it's an injury designation?
He's on the 53. So
but he's not on the active 53.
Yeah, no, he's not right now.
But yeah.
So I just wondered, where's Bailey Zappi?
I guess practice squad players can't be on there unless they're.
Yes, because I might be talking out of turn on this. In order to be the emergency third quarterback, you have to be carried on the 50.
Yes.
And the Browns have not done that, to my knowledge, with Bailey.
No.
I don't think they have, no.
So he's still a practice squad guy.
Right.
So he's not going to be, he would be up in the booth on game days.
If you go back and listen to give you context on the quarterback help thing, right? You got to think about it like this. Even Joe Flacco had when you competing, right? Even Joe Flacco would get questions all the time because he said, "Listen, I'm not here to be a mentor. I'm here to play." He would get that, and he got questions for a whole 2 years about that. He said, "Listen, guys, I got to tell you, when I'm in that room, I'm going to do everything I can to help him out. But let me just let you guys know, quarterbacks are built differently. I'm supposed to think I can play." Now, he has the maturity as he's been older enough to even figure that out and understand what that is. You got 2 rookies. They told you from Jump Street, y'all are competing. From Jump Street. The team said that. So it's hard to navigate as 2 rookies trying to compete for a job, for one role. One guy's trying to keep it and one guy is trying to prove himself, right? So go back and look at Johnny Manziel and Brian Hoyer. What did Johnny say? Brian Hoyer, man, that guy didn't help me at all. Now think about it.
Part of the reason for that is Johnny was not put in the work.
Right.
Johnny was not interested.
A big part.
Brian made the assessment very quickly. He doesn't want the help.
I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Yeah.
And guess what? He made the assessment. I'm not wasting my time on you. You ain't even put the work in, bro.
That's right.
You're not doing what you're supposed to do. But it just goes to show you that the human nature and the human side of it when you competing, and when you got 2 dudes, right, and you got one dude that's competing, another one is. Necessarily, I don't want to be like this. Hey, what you doing? You missed that right over there. He like, how you know? I'm the quarterback. Like,
I know what you're saying.
Nah.
You're right, but
I'm gonna support you, my guy. That's what we gonna do. That's what we gonna do.
Yeah. I do understand what you're saying. That position, not that the others aren't competitive, but because only one of them is going to play, like you got corners, you got DBs, you got wide receivers, you got linemen. There's a lot more cohesion in those groups because everybody's getting to eat. But in the quarterback room, there's just the very nature of the room. First of all, these guys are all alpha dogs, every one of them. They have been the best players on their teams their entire life. Not that the other position guys haven't, but they usually are the de facto leader of the team. And now you're asked to take not just a subservient role, but you're persona non grata. When you're the backup quarterback, like, you got a hat and a clipboard, and that's about it. And you're out of sight and out of mind. And that's hard for these guys to deal with because they've always been the first person that the reporters run to after the game. They're the alpha dog. They're the leader. And now you're in this weirdly different situation.
Browns did it to themselves.
And everybody handles it differently. I guess I can sit here and say, if it were me, I'd want to learn everything I could, but there would also be a part of me, particularly if I thought I was better than that guy. What am I going to learn from him? And there's probably at quarterback, there's some of that goes on.
And you're touching on it. When I know early in my career, there were people around my age, coming up at the same time, and you're like, it's competitive.
Very much so.
And you are not friends.
Same with TV.
You are not friends.
Same with TV.
Now, later in your career,
Yep.
as you establish yourself 10 years later, they can become one of your best friends.
Even if they're a competitor.
But when you're first coming up,
no. Yep, that was exactly how I handled it too. Now, I never was rude to anybody, but I never went out of my way to talk to anybody or to be friendly, ever.
I was not doing dinner.
I was like, when I moved to Cleveland, I was
but
like,
later.
I was like, Anthony Lima stinks, Ken Carmen's a fraud at night.
But you know what happens?
Baskin and Phelps, who was crazy enough
I'm not
to put them
speak
on.
for you. I'll speak for me.
Go ahead.
Jay, you can echo this.
Yeah.
For me, when you get confidence in your skill set, like I was that, but I was that way quietly. I wouldn't denigrate any of my colleagues.
I denigrated all of them.
I know you did.
No, I did.
And that's your personality.
No, I actually didn't. I'm kidding.
That's what you do. That's who you are, though.
I denigrate people. I not my colleagues that I work with.
Well, no, see, now I consider my colleagues to be people that do the same thing I do. Even if they're doing it for another.
So if I say Spiro Ditas has no interest when he's calling games, that's a bad thing?
Well, no, that's your opinion, but you're absolutely entitled to that. I happen to like Spiro. I mean, I think he's perfectly slotted. All that being said, when I was young and much more insecure in my skill set, I found it a lot easier to watch guys, particularly when I was like 24, 25. I would turn on ESPN and I'd be like, how in the hell I won't say any names, is that person on ESPN? And then when I got
you're full
older,
of it. You still say that sometimes.
I
You
don't.
kid.
Now what
Privately
I did,
to yourself, you'll say it.
I don't, Bull, because what I've realized in doing this, and maybe it was the page that Joe Flacco turned.
Where he realized
Jay's saying I'm insecure.
No. What I'm saying is,
I am.
I bet you if you measure how much you do of it now compared to how much you did when you were 25, it's a lot less. It is for me. Like, I still see guys that I'm like, it's more sympathetic. I'm like, wow, that guy's over his skis and he doesn't know it yet.
Hey, listen, Jay realized, he said, hold on, man, I'm rich. I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't have to do with the money. It doesn't.
Well, by the way, I was watching SportsCenter.
Jay, you can. I know that you feel the same thing.
Oh, Jay shits on everybody behind the scenes.
You reach a point. Well, you know what? If that's his opinion, he's entitled to that.
Behind the scenes.
What I just try to do this.
Who, me?
I fail sometimes.
I thought you were talking about him. Me?
No, he was talking about you. Sometimes I do
that
see people on the air and I'm like, and I catch myself saying something out loud and then I'm like, you know what? That was me one day, and maybe I should be more of a mentor and say, hey, look, you know what? If you're interested in talking about me helping you find your way, now my role, I have a very clear and defined role right now.
Yeah.
I am 60. I am walking out of the building.
Yep.
I spent 2 hours with a young kid in the building last week.
Yeah.
Who I've been mentoring for a while, but I've really dug into him because now I know that this kid wants it as bad. I see myself in him.
Yeah.
And my role now has nothing to do with plotting my course. I've run my race. The way I view it now is, if I can help some seeds become oak trees, then long after I'm gone, someone might say of me, because I say this of a lot of people, I would never be where I am today if it weren't for, and I hope that I have a lot of oak trees that I've left behind.
And the current afternoon host, Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin, better say that about me or I'll kill them both.
I hope they do. I hope they do. And you know what? It would be easy for them to say that if you've been helpful to them. Sometimes it is hard to help the competition, guys.
Yeah.
And this is
Sometimes
exactly what we're talking about.
They suck.
These guys are competition. They're on the same team, but they are definite competitors.
Absolutely.
So to put a bow tie on all of this.
Yes.
We all agreed that it made no sense to put him in at the end.
Of course
not.
To make
Absolutely
the
not.
right way, right?
Yes.
Just real quick, I know we pivoted in one of the different ways.
I think we will see him in one of two ways, not in blowouts. We'll see him if Dillon is hurt, or if it becomes obvious that Dillon's progressed as far as he can and he's regressing and not going forward. And sometimes in our development that happens. We go backwards. If that happens, they might say, to save Dillon from himself and more confidence erosion and skill set erosion, they may say, let's get him out of there and let's see what the kid can do.
Perfect. Let's talk about some of the other rookies who did play yesterday. Our rookie report this week is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley rushing for a touchdown. And you're in the game. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after you play your first 5. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Guys, we already talked about Judkins and Gabriel. We're going to exclude them from this week's rookie report. The 3 guys we're going to focus on: Mason Graham, Carson Schlesinger, and Harold Fannin Jr. G, what'd you like from Mason Graham in this contest? I think it may have been his best game yet.
Yeah, man, nice. Listen, he had a nice little play on the goal line. Nice little punch, extend, get rid of the guy, make a tackle. He even got up and celebrated a little bit. Jason, been kicking his leg. We got to work on your celebration, though, big fella. But, you know what I'm saying, we're going to work with you. But, listen, I thought he had a real nice game. Real nice game. You know, he's settling in more with the run game. I think it was a little bit of a shell shock. Like, oh, this am I going to see this type of run game with the zone and this gap schemes? So I think that's going to always be something that is going to be a work in progress as a defensive lineman. Even to a certain extent, Myles Garrett in his early part of his career didn't handle the run game as much well. So I think that'll be work in progress. But the thing that really is his asset is the fact that he's very, very quick. He's going to learn pretty soon to start being like, all right, when he starts to be able to read these run blocks and move around and not even touch these guys on runs, it's going to be crazy because his lateral quickness and redirect where the ball shifts, he got that part down. I thought he did a real nice job. And then, two, I thought him and Schlesinger got handled a little bit last week in the run game, where the Steelers was coming at him, knocking him off the ball a little bit in the middle. Schlesinger fell into a couple of tackles. He got took for a ride. But I thought this game, Schlesinger was back doing his thing. I mean, this guy, once again, I don't know where his tackles are, but I feel like he's got to be in the top half of the league in terms of all linebackers with tackles. I know who he is as a rookie, but he's always around the football and he's always able to do his thing. And then Harold Fannin Jr., not many opportunities, but the thing that I was looking for with him was David Njoku was out of the game, right? What does it look like without David Njoku? And I feel like Harold Fannin Jr., I'm Project Stockpile, but I wouldn't have no problems if the Browns moved on from David Njoku.
Oh, they will.
And said, this is the primary guy.
Fannon's a little undersized
Yeah.
for a tight end, and I guess I didn't really notice that until recently. He's not.
That's why I led the NCAA in receiving yards last year.
plays safety in
He
high
plays
school.
more like a receiver.
He plays
like
safety
a
in high
big
school.
receiver.
Yeah, so I wonder going forward with him how he holds up as the primary tight end, just because he's not as big. I never noticed it until recently how undersized he is for that position. But I mean, he's having a great year for what they want out of him. I think he fits that second tight end role really well. So if and when they do move on from David and he slides over, I'm just curious to see how he responds to that. Mason, I think what I was most impressed with is he was limited all week and they weren't even sure he was going to play.
I know. I didn't think he was going to.
I didn't think he was going to. And so for him to not only play but be as effective as he was.
And it was like knee inflammation.
It was his
And
knee.
typically, you know this, that doesn't typically, if you're like questionable on Friday, that usually doesn't lend to the idea that you're going to have a great game on Sunday.
Yeah, so I think that speaks to his toughness level. And as far as Schlesinger goes, he just plays with violence. Mm-hmm. And he had a play yesterday, I don't know if the camera caught it or not, where I can't remember, it was a tackle.
Was that the stand-up tackle that he
He
made?
threw him.
Yeah.
He
That was
grabbed
very
him
impressive.
and threw him down.
That was on A-Chan.
Was it H-Chan?
Yeah, it was a great
I
tackle.
don't remember the play. I just remember watching him fly in, grab him, and throw him down, and I thought,
That was impressive.
this
'cause
is this is an angry young.
He gets there angry.
Yeah.
He plays with anger and violence, and I don't spend a ton of time with him, but he seems like such a chill dude, California guy.
Yep.
Off the field, but on the field, man, he just has a violence and an anger to his game that you want at that position.
Can you imagine this? And I know this is a pipe dream. Can you imagine if they still had him and then JOK came back like JOK?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Bro, what are you talking about, bro?
We would have gone from no linebackers to one of the best linebacking
you would
corps
go
in the NFL.
But here's the thing about
We don't have
life.
Schlesinger if
If JOK is still
Yeah.
present, Schlesinger
Yeah.
wouldn't be.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Schlesinger and Graham A's, and I'm going to give Fannin a B. The play you talked about at the goal line where he shed the block, and that's the kind of stuff that it's fun to watch rookies grow and that light go off. Like you said, wait until he starts seeing things coming. I think he's starting to.
Yeah.
I think he's starting to anticipate what the play is, and then when it happens, he's like, oh my God, I guessed right. And
Right.
he's there to plug the hole. With Schlesinger, this is a point I want to make talking about him and development with young guys. How you just don't know. Like, we could be looking at Dillon Gabriel today as, he's going to be a career backup. And then, boom, lights go off.
Right.
Same with Sheduer Sanders. There are people that aren't sure if Sheduer Sanders can be anything but a career backup. We don't know. You got to get an opportunity and you got to see it. Last year, 1 year ago, he was just 2 months into a starting role at UCLA.
It's crazy.
He did not start the season as
he was a walk-on.
but I'm talking about in his last year.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
right.
not a starter when the season began.
That don't happen.
And all of a sudden, to the point of like a light going off, this guy went from not being a one to a starter to one of the best defensive players on their team to getting national accolades for his play to being a high draft pick to being a guy who I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think this is hyperbole, he certainly has to be in the conversation for Defensive Rookie of the Year, doesn't he?
I mean,
I don't know.
He's currently the favorite.
Okay, so that's not a stretch then.
I mean, he has almost 60 tackles.
Yeah, he's going to finish with 130
there's
tackles.
9 more games.
He's going to finish with 130 tackles
He's
if he
tied
stays
for 10th
healthy.
in the league in tackles right now, and
That's
I'm
phenomenal.
incorrect. Abdul Carter moves slightly ahead.
Yeah,
of
I would have said that Carter might be
they're
with
essentially
him
neck and neck. Yeah,
But think of Carter. He's a guy that went where? Number 2 or 3 overall?
3 overall.
And so Carson is one of those guys, and I don't think we've seen the ceiling to him either. I think he's going to be a guy that continues to ascend. I love his motor. Fannin gets a B for me because I think he had a drop, if I'm not mistaken. There was a ball that was thrown his way that I felt he should have caught.
I'm trying to think of who it was.
Did Fannin have a drop yesterday? There was something he did yesterday that I didn't
targeted
love.
on the interception that got called back. I'm not sure if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know. I shouldn't
ESPN
ding
doesn't have him with a drop. That doesn't
Okay,
mean
maybe he didn't.
drop
He just didn't jump off. Like, if you get an A, to me, you made plays that jumped off the screen. And I mentioned the goal line play with Graham, and there were a couple instances where Schlesinger got there and he was angry and he was throwing guys around. And I just love he plays with a level of violence that you want your linebackers to play with. He's got a nose for the ball, so they both get A's. And Fannin was good. He jumped off here and there, but not good enough for an A for me.
I got to get Schlesinger paired up with AJ. You got to teach
Yeah.
him how to be that
Right.
nice guy off the field and that animal on the field.
You do need to get them paired up.
grading
Hey, the girl that cuts my hair cuts his hair.
Yeah.
So I've got it in there.
All right,
You know,
all right.
maybe we can get
Well,
AJ.
I do see him 3 times a week in the locker room. So
Yeah,
I
you're
Well,
right.
yeah, but you want it to happen. You want it to happen organically.
Yeah.
We find out when his
Bring
next
him in for a
haircut is.
haircut.
AJ schedules it for right afterwards, but he gets there 30 minutes ahead of time, and he goes, "Wait a minute, are you who I think you are?" Because he's unmistakable.
Look at this. This is why Jay.
Yeah, he's
you
always
thought
making moves.
Lyman was bad.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Slippery wizard. The
You
old
gotta
wizard.
hook it up.
Grading defensive linemen is impossible because I mean, maybe you were watching him every play.
I mean, even I don't watch.
the only
defensive
time you're
linemen
going to see
play.
Mason.
I didn't even watch him. I
When
was
he
trying to
flashes.
watch him. I
When he
didn't watch
flashes,
him.
may have
you
had
see
an
him.
A game, but we're basing that on like 3 plays.
Right,
You know,
but
like-
to me, if you flash at that position for 3 games, 3
yeah,
plays,
but if he
that's
got
good.
his ass kicked on the other 50 plays, did he have an A game?
That's for PFF.
Yeah,
to
I
decide.
don't know.
That's for
I don't
PFF.
trust PFF either, really.
Did you see what J.J. Watt said about PFF, by the way?
Yeah, he was defending his brother after.
I know he was, but he essentially said what I've been saying, like they're dead to him.
Well,
You know,
then let him come up with a better answer.
Well, here's what he said. Here's
Yeah.
what he said, and I
Yeah.
did not disagree with him. Grading players is a ridiculous exercise. Now, so is doing a mock draft on
Facts.
April 28th.
Yes.
But we do it. And PFF isn't going to stop doing it because J.J. Watt doesn't like it. But J.J.'s points were very well taken.
I don't know. I think they're stupid. What
No,
do you mean?
J.J. said what I've been saying. How do you know what the assignment was? He might have carried out his assignment right perfectly.
Okay, but if you're going to say that, then get a better answer.
Well, no, Bull, there isn't one.
Okay, well then.
I mean, outside of someone, you know what is? And you'll know this. Your coach's grade. What did the coaches give you?
Well, then let the coaches share it.
Well, they're not going to
Fans
share
want that
it.
information.
Yeah, they're not going to share it.
Fans want
It's the best we have.
As a fan, you
but it's
want
a flawed system.
Everything's flawed. I'm sure the coaching system is flawed too.
I don't understand how the universe can start from nothing in a big bang. What happened before that?
Right.
The best case I got.
There was nothing before that.
But just nothing?
Yeah, I get.
So
I
we
get
got to
it.
just take your
You
word
see
for
the
it.
coaches grade at the end of the year when the contracts are handed out.
Yeah,
That's
that
when you see the
you're
coaches.
right. How much money are you making in your next deal?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Grading players.
It is difficult.
tough.
It's very, very difficult. But to your point, like a defensive lineman, we do watch them much differently. But for me, if they flash a few times, that's a good game because typically they don't. And I love the point they made during the broadcast yesterday about the 7-man rotation by Schwartz with the defensive linemen. It seems to be working because they've got guys that they can put in there and not
Alex
lose.
Wright had a crazy
Oh my God,
game.
He had a very good
He
game.
had a crazy. He was everywhere.
By the way, doesn't every team rotate 7 players roughly? on
More
the
now
defensive line?
than ever before.
And my calls should be back sooner than later.
Yeah,
Good.
We've been hearing that for a month.
That's
no,
another.
I know. But
Didn't they come out and say that he had a couple of injuries with the knee?
he had a couple surgeries.
couple surgery with the knee, like not
serious.
just one ligament.
This was
Yeah.
not a small thing.
Yeah.
But he practiced last week. I don't know how much he needs to practice. I have no.
He's not going to play much, probably. I mean, they got the guys there are playing well.
They
Everybody's
are,
playing
but
well.
I mean, good teams can rotate guys in. I remember back I remember when Miles and Larry Ogunjobi were playing like 90% of the snaps.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had to.
And I was like, this is nuts. You can't,
Right.
they're going to get hurt. You can't keep doing this. And that's when they had no depth whatsoever. So, yeah, they've done a nice job of building their depth across the defensive line.
I think that's
Now
been
they've got
Schwartz's
guys who
priority. He wants bodies, many of them.
Yeah.
And I think what we've done is we've gone from having a lot of guys to now having a lot of guys that are really good, not just serviceable.
Yeah.
They have guys that when they come in, they're well rested and they want to flash when they get their opportunities and they're making plays. And yesterday's defensive effort is not sustainable. They're not going to do that every game. No. What's odd to me is we talked about this last year with the Schwartz home and away defenses. I think it was 23 where it really jumped off the page. You should be better at home. Your defense should be better at home. But oddly, this defense is much, much, much better at home.
Yeah.
And they are 2-0 with the brown helmets this year.
By the way, Mike, can you put the I know we're talking about defense at the moment, but could you put the receiving stat leaders on that board for a minute?
It's 110, Steve, I believe.
If you took every Browns wide receiver, besides Judy, I'll say, and just cut them, every one of them, and
how many of
replaced
them
them
would
with
be
guys
picked up?
off the street, would it matter? Would it make any difference?
No. It
I don't know.
Will any Browns wide receiver...
Oh, my God.
Will any Browns wide receiver get 500 yards this year?
Yes,
Yes.
Fannin will, for sure.
Wide receiver.
Oh, wide receiver. Judy will get there.
Judy
Yeah,
will
he's
get
halfway there through 7.
Will any Browns wide receiver besides Jerry Judy get 350 yards?
Probably not.
No, I bet not.
I think they have to just based out of opportunity.
Bond might
But
get it.
Njoku's going to get traded more than likely, and that'll open opportunities. For
Yeah. If he doesn't, they'll have 2 tight ends that get 500 yards.
You had what's-his-name, who they picked up off the Jets, who made his catch
Malachi
yesterday.
Ford.
He thought he would have won the Super Bowl
he
after
went
making that
crazy.
catch.
That was a nice play.
It was. I
Actually,
like that play design.
It was.
I like that play design.
It was a little
That's 2 for
misdirection.
Kevin Stefanski
Bond
in his
stinks.
dog.
You're right.
What's-his-name is terrible, the guy they drafted late last year. That guy's awful. Thresh is awful.
Yeah.
I mean, he's god-awful.
Did Bond play? Did I see him
He
yesterday?
did not have a stat.
I mean, we talked about it all offseason, but what's the highest pick that they've used on a receiver?
Tillman,
Well,
And what was Tillman?
Third.
third round.
Well, technically they traded a
and
second-round pick.
Bell
to
was the
get a lot
third round.
more.
Schwartz was the
but
third round.
in the draft.
Third round.
Third
Yeah.
round.
Multiple third-rounders.
You're really narrowing your target when you're shooting
Oh,
the third
You aren't
round.
kidding. You are. Yeah, at that position.
And by the way, listen, did y'all see Cardinal Tate play? the
Oh,
other
I
day?
saw him.
That was ridiculous.
That catch was incredible.
Hey, by the way, I don't know about the quarterback angle we drafted, but that Cardinal Tate pick at receiver. And by the way, let me just tell you this: he's not going to be there in the 20s. Stop. I'm going to let you know that
Especially
right
I
now.
don't think he will either.
Look at the way
I don't think he will
Jackson
either.
Smith and Jigba's fantastic right now.
all the
Abuka's been
Buckeye,
great as a rookie.
It's wide receiver you.
Now Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, he was the most surefire lock, and he might
I know.
be so far the worst.
He's been
throw.
real hit or miss, as I know. He's on my fantasy roster this year.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got
I'd
one last
trade
thing
for
we
him.
got to get to before we dive into
he
Super
was-
Chats at 12:45.
Olave
Brought
hasn't
to
been
us
great either.
By Rippling, if
Had a
you're a
big day
business
yesterday,
owner,
didn't he?
here's the truth. SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow them down and simply don't work together. That's not SaaS, that's SAD, software as a disservice, and that's why you need Rippling. Rippling's the unified platform for HR, payroll, IT, and finance all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools with one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. And right now, you can get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/LockedOnNFL. That's Rippling, RIPPLING.com/LockedOnNFL for 6 months free. Terms and conditions do apply. Bull, you and I talked about this on the phone last night real quick, so I'll let you get to it. We're going to do Super Chats at 45, so we got 8 minutes to get through this. But in particular, when you look at this game,
Giants
the big
game? We talking about the
picture-
Giants game?
No, we're not.
The
talking about
greatest
the
choke
Giants
in the
game.
history of sports?
Oh, man.
Was yesterday's matchup between the Browns and the Dolphins a bigger indicator that the Browns may not be as bad as some thought, or a bigger indictment that the Dolphins are absolute dog crap?
I like this question better than, I put on SportsCenter for the first time in forever today.
Really?
And they were saying, was this a game that the Giants lost or the Broncos
Yeah, that's one of their
won?
favorite questions
I
on
hate
the
that.
debate
Immediately
shows.
shut off SportsCenter after that.
Yeah.
But this is a slightly better version of, not slightly, a much better version of that question. I to me, this was about how it showed more how bad the Dolphins are than
I thought so too.
Than how good the Browns are. The Browns, we already knew the Browns defense was good, and the Browns defense played good. I don't feel any better about the Browns offense after this game.
206
I knew
yards.
Quinshon Judkins was good. He's still good. I knew their passing game was bad. It's still bad. Yeah. This was about how completely inept and awful the Miami Dolphins are.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think I always put the teams in the NFL in groups of 6. And I know that you need 36 teams to do that, but the bottom tier to me has 8 teams. Because I don't think the top tier deserves 8 teams. I don't think any year there's 8 teams that deserve. So I go 6 is tier 1, and then 7 through 12 is tier 2, and then at the bottom is teams 26, 24 to 30, 25 to 32. To me, they're both in that tier, but the Dolphins are at the bottom of that tier, and the Browns are at the top of that tier. The Dolphins are leaking oil everywhere. It made me. I think you said this. Hey, it could be worse.
Yeah.
It made me feel good about being a Browns fan for those 3 hours yesterday. I was like, wow, thank God I'm not rooting for the Fins.
Yeah.
Because they are unwatchable and they've quit. And to me, when a team quits, I quit with my effort with them. I can't watch a team that's quit. And that team in Week 7 has let go of the rope, and it's not pretty.
I think the Browns actually, we haven't done this exercise in a while because we don't think the Browns are very good in terms of talent. Remember we used to do taking the 10 players from
who's got the better play? Yeah,
that was a good game.
So, yeah, we would rank the top 10.
If you were to go back and do that, like the Browns, even though they're bad, they still have like the top 3 players almost. Like,
yeah, you got Denzel and Miles.
Denzel
that are always
Miles
going to be
is
there.
always 2. So
do the Dolphins have a player better than Judkins?
I would put A-Chain ahead of Judkins right now.
You put A-Chain and then, but then
to me, I'd put him. I mean, I don't know about offensive linemen, but
A-Chain, and then you have Waddle is there, but then you would still have Judkins. So the Browns, to me, in this game, had more players. I think they had better players. This guy, he looked terrible.
Who's their best players on defense? Minka Fitzpatrick and
Fitzpatrick could be in
Chubb.
there.
Yeah, they're bigger name players, but they're always hurt.
The
Zach Seiler, the defensive tackle, might actually be their best defensive player, and that's saying something.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe we should play that game again next week, Mike, except pick the 10 worst players.
That is kind of. That's
10 worst starters.
That's kind of. Listen, that's fire.
10 worst starters. There you go.
10 worst starters. Man, that's crazy.
We'll save it for the Jets.
KT Levinson.
Okay, we'll save it for the Jets.
Browns tackles are 1 and 2.
Levinson had a nice block yesterday.
He actually did.
I mean, he did. He had one nice
just
block.
sounded like a
on the touchdown, on a Judkins long touchdown.
Jay just sounded like a grandfather talking about
about his kid who stinks.
Little Jimmy.
Hey, he had one tackle where the kid fell down, but he did. He had a nice little team block, and it opened up a big hole that led to a touchdown.
I gave Stefanski 2 compliments. He gave Levinston a compliment.
Yes.
We must have won.
We're growing.
Cornelius Lucas only committed 2 penalties yesterday.
The other thing was it separates these teams. The Dolphins had over 100 penalty yards and 4 turnovers.
Every single time.
The Browns do that a lot. Other games.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It felt good for once to be like, how's that
look
feel?
at them, those peasants.
You can't even. You don't know the rules.
I was sitting there being like, oh, that's going to be on the Browns. I'm like, what? It's on the Dolphins
I did
again?
too a couple times. I'm like, that's holding.
Yeah, that's holding. That's coming back.
Hands to the face on the defense.
And the refs was even, actually, it's not on the Browns. It's on the Dolphins.
Surprise, surprise. Going that way.
I know, we can't believe it either.
I do think refs should add commentary in their calls. Do you remember the call's been like 25 years?
Giving them the business.
Number 77 had him down and was giving him the business. He made this an official signal for a penalty.
Remember that.
They should do that more often.
None of this and none of that.
What the hell was he thinking?
Yeah, they had some, and every time Mike, every time they got a penalty, Mike McDaniel's aviators just slid.
Got darker.
Got darker. He had 0% window tint on them glasses. It was black paint after a while.
How can you even see in the rain?
You know what? I said the same thing. I'm like, those are the darkest tinted sunglasses I've ever
between
seen.
the rain and his tears, I don't know how he saw his place.
And his hoodie wouldn't stay on. His hair was wet in the front.
Capris.
It was.
it's an issue.
He was looking disheveled.
It's funny, man. You talk about stock dropping. 2 years ago, this dude was a savant.
I mean, they scored 60 on Denver, didn't they? Wasn't
Yeah.
Almost 70.
Everybody was like,
stopped.
"Oh, this team's like a video game."
Hey, now listen. I'm with Bull, and hey, sometimes you're just a coordinator. So I would hire him as a mad scientist coordinator. But you can't have too many Mike Leaches at head coach. I don't know if that works.
Yeah,
mad
you're
scientist,
right. Yeah.
That act can wear old because because when you not talking to nobody and you just in your play sheet trying to think of plays, you're like, bro, the house is on fire, dog. Stop telling your kids to.
And Tyreek Hill isn't
go get
coming back.
dishes. Yeah.
All right, guys, it's time for Super Chats. We're going to do it every day, 12:45 to 1 o'clock. We'll get your Super Chats in. We'll get to as many as we can. Today's Super Chats brought to us by Mazda. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible, reminding us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning, and just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move and be moved. All right, guys, here's some Super Chats. First up comes from the Hot Saucers. For the fans, shut up about Sheduer Sanders and enjoy the damn win. Anybody still complaining today is a fan of controversy, not of the Browns.
Mike, check your phone real quick, if you would. That's all.
Got you.
Okay, thank you.
Got you. Next Super Chat. James Mace Jr. says, good win for the Browns. Have more to prove. Hopefully they can build on this and get a winning streak going.
Listen,
nice.
go next week on the road. If they can put 2 in a row together, we'll see.
Reminds me of the Lou Brown line from Major League. If we win tomorrow, that's called a winning streak.
Ian Aston says, I am taking applications for the Carson Schlesinger fan club.
Okay.
I told you in training camp, people were going to love this.
Carson Matthews.
Davey Davis. G. Bush said it last week. Hope and effort. Well, I saw that on display against the Dolphins.
That's what you need. You need a little hope. You need a little effort. You got those. Nice win, defense. I like the run game. I like it.
This next one is going to spark a little bit of conversation. But Dragon the Abandoner says, I'm a big Kevin and AB supporter, but Jackson Dart looks legit, and they passed on him. How different would we look right now with Dart at quarterback?
Got to see more of Dart. He
we
played
still
well
don't
for
know.
most of the game, but then he threw an awful pick that cost the Giants the game yesterday.
But we like Jay said, we do see flashes.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing you want to see is the
There's
flashes.
been way more
right?
good than bad
And
with
the
Dart.
other thing, too, I don't know where you are, Mike, this, because you're a fan of the Giants. Why are you throwing the ball there?
That was crazy.
You've got a 10-point lead. Run the ball and punt it and play defense.
Just like when we said, why the hell is Green Bay throwing on third down? Had they run the ball 3 times?
Right.
It ends the game. I have no idea. The clock management at the end.
I
And even
blame
when
the
they
coach.
Scored, when
The
Jackson
Giants
Dart
were up,
scored
what?
that last touchdown,
Yeah.
Weren't the
I was
Giants?
praying.
Did they kill all the clock?
No, that he was going to be short, so they have to run another play.
Oh,
so they could
yeah.
run some
Right,
more.
right.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
see
they
what you're
scored
saying.
too fast.
Yeah.
Like,
As soon
the
as they
Giants
missed
were
that
up
second extra
27-0 at start the fourth quarter, right?
No,
No,
19-0.
19-0.
Oh, okay.
19.
Oh, wow.
19-0. But still, I think if you're handing out blame, yes, Dart, what are you doing?
Terrible
But
pass.
why are you
Terrible
throwing the
pass.
ball there? And that is on the coach.
Yeah, and Dayball doesn't call the plays. Kafka calls the plays. from
Okay, well, then
upstairs.
it's on him.
But you got to override it. Run the
Do you
ball.
know, can Dayball does have override, right? He can say, no, we're not throwing there. We're
I
going to
assume
run.
he has override.
Just
He-
if you
he's not
run the
primary
ball
caller.
and you punt it,
I'm with Jay. I'm with you. It
just
was
made
terrible.
no sense to me.
Well, I-
but by the way, that was one of the best games of the year.
Incredible. And I mean, it sucked. The ending sucked.
I know
Don't
it
get
did
me
for
wrong,
you.
but it
Yeah, that was
incredible.
rough.
I thought it was a great ending.
Stephen Allen Spencer says, seems like Kevin still has the locker room.
Yeah, that was one of my takeaways from yesterday.
Yeah, that's fair.
They have not quit on him.
They play hard. The defense played hard, and the defense players was the one chirping too. So they, well, I want to see what wins heal everything for a week. Can you put it together again next week?
Next week's going to be telling. at
Very.
New England.
Yeah, it
They
is.
can win that game, and they could get blown off the field. And
Anything could happen.
neither one would surprise me.
Right, yeah. Boy,
Home of Duke and
Mike's done a
Nyla
great
says,
job there.
jumping in the water like a dolphin, but I ain't go MIA. Shout out Grant Delpit.
Okay, that's a nice bar. That's a bar right
that
there.
is. I like that a lot.
that. Yeah, okay.
Brody's bottom line wants to know how the 26 quarterback class is looking. Brody, we got something coming up later in the week that's going to look at some of the
There are some
upcoming
guys starting
quarterback
to
guys.
emerge.
Yes. So we'll get to that. We have a whole topic kind of game on that coming up. I
Good. I'm
promise.
glad.
You will get some more insight into that. Hughes
That was
2019.
probably a sarcastic comment, by the way. He wasn't being serious.
Who?
Whatever
Yeah.
that comment
No, you're
was,
right.
that was sarcastic.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but in reality, there are guys that are beginning to separate themselves from the crowd. And we didn't have that after 4 weeks.
Hughes 2019 says, and I saw this stat from CBS as well, it's crazy that Dillon Gabriel and Tom Brady are the only quarterbacks in NFL history with 100-plus pass attempts, multiple touchdowns, and no interceptions in their first 3 starts.
I know, I saw that too,
Oh
but
my.
that's ridiculous.
It's a hysterical
there's a stat for
Hysterical
everything.
stat.
Yes.
And there's a perfect
That's the only
example of
time
that.
you'll ever see Dillon Gabriel and Tom Brady in the same sentence.
And
Hey,
probably the
if
yeah,
it's
you're
me,
right.
If it's me, I'm doing like my mom in high school. Anytime my name is in a paper, I'm clipping that
Cut it out and put it on the refrigerator.
Unless it's in the police blotter.
Yeah, right.
Don't do that.
James Mace Jr. says, Tyvis said before the season started that the Colts were going to shock some people. Maybe Tyvis is right.
I didn't remember that, but good job out of him.
Tyvis has had a lot of on-the-money calls this year, both in the NFL and college, too.
But his baseball
Good
joints is out of pocket.
And he said the Browns
Yeah.
would win 8 games.
You're right. I forgot about that. It kind of brings everything back to
Yeah, it brings back to the means.
And we got to remember that Tyvis still said the Browns are an 8-win team. So
Oh yeah. That
I think
early.
it started at 9, actually, and then went to 8.
We browbeated him. Beat him
I
down
mean,
to 8.
Ross says they're not going to lose for a month, and we like Ross.
I
mean,
don't. He didn't. I don't think he said that.
He did. I went back
He
and
said
watched
they
because you
could.
said no. He
Yeah.
says I've got good news for the Browns. I don't think they're going to lose for the next month.
I've actually agreed with a ton of what Ross has said.
Ross
about this
is on
team.
the money.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Yeah, it's a stretch.
But
It-
there's a lot of winnable games.
there
ahead
are.
of them.
We got some bad teams.
Doesn't mean they're
coming
going to
up.
win them all.
No.
But there are
Remote.
winnable games.
Keep this in the archives because if they come out here and play bad against the Jets, we will be rewinding that.
Oh yes,
Oh, yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
You know what? We're all week to week.
Week to week. Yep.
That's what we all are.
Like paycheck to paycheck.
Neil Gray says, celebrating a win over the worst team in football, ? Wake up.
No, I'm gonna celebrate
I don't know
this
that
one.
we were celebrating.
Who's
I think it's a
celebrating?
little
I'm gonna
tough,
take the
but-
win. Like,
Of course you take the win.
take the dub.
What should we do?
You know
should
what?
we be miserable about
We were
it?
pleased with it, and I think that's the right way to go about it. You
All
don't
right, go ahead.
apologize for that. And Miami gets paid
don't
too.
understand
Never
what that guy
apologize
wants.
for a win.
No.
A win's a win.
That's exactly right.
Sly says Gabriel has a lower QBR than Geno, Tua, Browning, Flacco, Fields, and every quarterback in the NFL that has started a game except for 3.
Okay.
Ricardo says, how much do we need to raise to get a Ken Carman guest appearance on UCSS?
That is factually impossible.
They wouldn't let him come on.
It's impossible. It won't happen.
Jeremy Blosser says, can we keep the brown helmets? We're 2-0 in these new uniforms.
Oh, we're gonna keep
yeah.
the Browns helmets.
I like them.
I like them.
I
them
like
a lot.
them.
They're wearing one more game, if I'm correct, right? They had
think.
3 this season.
Yeah, I think there were 3. Is it November 7th?
And we look up the next time they're wearing the matte black Alpha Dog unis.
So throw it out there. How many more uniforms will they unveil before they have the new dome? Will there be any new helmets?
Well, the dome's not coming until 2039 now.
Well, that was the Haslam's
So-
called me telling me to shut up.
Well, what happened with that was I'm told that's very standard. That it's just a safety net that Buffalo's got. They all do it.
Those helmets are nice. The Buffalo's good. I like them.
Yeah, those were cool.
Hey, they're wearing the
I like
matte
the
black.
Bengals uniforms Thursday. The
Real
all
quick,
white.
Jay,
whites,
they're wearing
yeah.
the brown uniforms again, Week 14 against
December,
Tennessee.
yeah, December 7th. I said
Oh.
November 7th. December 7th.
Very, very winnable game. Good choice.
Yeah, hey, let's go 3-0 in the Brownies.
Right.
Maybe they're gonna. I wouldn't be.
The Packers game was bold, though. I don't know how many people called that as a win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't circle
We
that
didn't.
as a win early on.
And the
No
Browns
way.
moved past Tennessee back into 31st place in points per game yesterday.
Hey, moving up.
Yeah,
DB
but how many
Dog
of those
21.
really counted from
DB
the
Dog
offense?
21 says, per Batonio, things with Stefanski boiled over Monday, crazy intense, laid out expectations for everyone, especially the offense. Maybe Stefanski isn't always that passive guy we see.
Yeah, Joel said he laid into guys on Monday, tore into him, and had a
Good.
That's what I'm talking about.
off of obviously a
he
terrible
got to lose
performance
at this
against
point?
Sunday.
I like that. I like that energy.
It worked.
You ain't about to
Did
get
you
me
guys
fired
see
out here.
the game ball video from the Browns
I did
yesterday?
not. No.
No, I didn't see that.
I thought, man, you can learn stuff just from watching it. That he gave out all the game balls. He said everybody on the defense gets a game ball. He gave one to Schwartz. It just, I was looking at it and I'm going, that's like 5-2 locker room energy. It was not 2-5 locker room energy.
When you ain't,
They were all up, applauding. It was
man.
Watch it if you get a chance.
Winning is important, bro. It's hard to go out there and lose them games week after week after week. When you get a win, and they, even if it's few and far between, you gonna rock with that, bro. It's a win, bro.
And he dropped some expletives in it too. Stefanski did.
Oh, he always.
I'm glad to hear that he
I
got
think he should
after
be
him
fired.
Monday. I'm glad to hear that.
I would fire him for cursing. I mean, children are going to be scarred.
Well, the Browns
Lives are
they
gonna be ended.
bleeped the swear words out.
Oh my, thank God!
Yeah, so they didn't have to hear it.
How would kids live if they heard an F word?
Yeah.
They would not be able to make it through another day.
It's a choice.
Sean Philpott says fans have seen these one-off wins against scrubs before when we're bad. Let's see it against a good team without minimizing the quarterback. Then we can talk.
Here.
Yeah.
Wait, say it. Wait, what?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Salvation says G.
We'll
Bush.
read it again.
Salvation says G. Bush. If the Browns ran a reverse out of the Wildcat on Monday and it didn't work, you'd be sitting there like, this is nasty work, man.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd rather see a lineman screen, though.
Listen,
They
let me
had
tell
that
you-
in the playbook a couple years ago.
Guess what? Oh, wow. Look, here's what you got to do. You use it as a secondary wrinkle. I'm not saying you come out with the Wildcat reverse now. When they stop it 2 times, then you come back to it later on in the game. Possibly it may work. But you ain't going to come out early and do it. You got to warm it up. You got to bring it. It's baby steps. And by the way, if it does happen and they do get shut down, I don't even got to worry about saying it's a bad call. Bull, do it for me.
Remember Michael Dunn as the extra blocker, eligible receiver? There was a play in there for him to be the intended target. They never
Which
got
guy?
to it. Michael Dunn.
This year?
No, he's not on
No,
the
when
team.
he was
No,
here.
I'm saying who was. Oh, I think you were saying.
I don't know this year. I mean, Whippler.
By the way, there was some guy
He
who
reported eligible,
I knew
yeah.
something
There was some guy yesterday who made a play. I can't even remember if it was a sack or something. Maybe an interception. I don't know. I never heard of the guy.
Was it Quinshon Judkins?
No, not Rayshon.
He had a great game. by
he
the way.
had a great
We
game.
didn't mention Rayshon all show. Bad
Yeah.
about us. Rayshon played great.
And by the way, he got
Name
a
the rest
single
of the
digit
guys
too.
that either had a sack or an interception.
Oh, you know what? I'm with you. I remember hearing it too. Going, I said, "Who the hell
Yeah.
is that?"
Mike, can you do that or no?
Yeah, I got to type it in. I don't have enough hands to do it all at once.
He has to type in no name gangster who got stats yesterday.
All right, so sack or interception?
Yeah, I
The
guess.
sacks yesterday were, Donovan McMillan. Is that who
Yeah.
you're thinking of?
Yeah.
I never heard of that guy.
That's it.
And
Who is Donovan McMillan? Had you
Hey.
guys ever heard of him?
No.
I had not. I literally
Jason?
said,
I think I've seen his name plate in the
Undrafted
locker
free, he's
room.
an undrafted free agent.
His
I've never
parents
talked
I had no clue who he was.
specifically watched the show to hear his name today, and we
You
have
could just be
never.
making up that name. I never heard of him.
No, it's real.
He got a sack though, right?
He did. He was the undrafted defensive back out of Pittsburgh.
Nice
who
job, Donovan McMillan.
Had a good camp and is now playing special teams.
Donovan McMillan.
Yeah, we talked about him.
Yeah.
actually.
Did?
Yeah, we
He
did.
sounds like the sales manager
As
at Kia
undrafted
Bedford.
guys who had a shot.
Go see Donovan
No, we
McMillan.
did.
He'll
We
hook
talked
you up.
about him.
Yeah.
Mike did a segment on like undrafted guys who had a chance to make the team or something.
All right, and he was mentioned.
And I think Tyvis talked
You're
about
No,
it.
I was
wrong
laughing
either.
because G. Bush said he sounds like
Donovan McMillan. Go
a sales
ahead.
manager
Donovan
at Kia
McMillan.
Bedford.
Sales
he's
manager.
not wrong. He
Donovan
said,
McMillan.
He said, "Go see Donovan."
I actually,
He'll hook you up.
I actually got my latest car from not Kia Bedford, but Nissan Bedford.
No, Nissan is.
I will say you guys
Bedford
are
Auto
all
Mile.
right, by the way. Jason, you were correct. We did a which undrafted free agent is the best
Let's
chance
get
to make
that.
the roster.
McMillan.
And Donovan McMillan was everyone's pick, and he does sound like he could be the manager at Kia Bedford.
Shout out to them. Shout out to the real manager, Dayton Ware. Shout out to him.
Hey, if they want to be a sponsor of the show, reach out to us. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Come
Next
on,
super
call
chat.
us.
Brody's bottom line said, "R.I.P. Doug Martin."
Yeah.
Oh, I
Real
know.
sad.
That's
I know.
crazy.
He died in police custody. We'll have to find
Yeah,
out
do
what
we know?
happened.
We don't know anything else though yet, do we?
Nope.
I don't know, man.
That was terrible, man.
Salvation says Tyson Campbell's play is already playing like an upgrade over Greg Newsome, or is it too early to say they won the trade?
It is.
Too early.
Too early.
One game.
But he had a great
James
game
Mace Jr. says Quinshon reminds me of LT.
Now we.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
No, I'm not doing that.
Hey, listen, the Daniel Tomlinson had 100
on.
touchdowns in the season one year.
a Hall
Like
of
it
Famer.
had to be like, I think he had what 25 or 30.
He's a
It was
legit
20.
And we got to stop with the LT.
Jiminy
There's only one LT, and that's Lawrence Taylor.
I agree.
Let's stop it.
Next one, Damon Hayward says Dillon was 13 of 18 for 116 yards, no touchdowns. He's trash.
He didn't even try to parse it. He just
No, it is what it is. He sucks.
Trash.
the trash was capitalized too. I know it was.
Jeremy Shepler says trade target, wide receiver Chris Olave. Other than that, what good tackles are out there for a win-now type scenario the Browns could
They're
acquire?
not
Well, the
making
Browns
trades like
aren't
that.
in a win-now mode. There are no tackles available who are any good.
They're not. Our producer Steve asked the craziest question on text yesterday. He's like, "Would you trade a third-round pick for Tua?"
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yo,
Steve might have been on drugs when he asked that question.
That's like somebody being single. It's talking about some. Hey man, any models that's ready to be married, that's rich and definitely likes to cook for their men. Let me know.
That's looking for an unemployed 36-year-old who's slightly overweight
In the basement.
Balding.
and drives an 82 Pontiac.
A couple more real quick.
Nah, dog.
Cleveland Serbanite said, signed up for FanDuel Sunday, bet my $300 sign-up bonus on a live plus 1,100 third drive exact result Quinshon touchdown.
Oh.
Thank you, Q. Thank you, FanDuel. Thank
Nice.
you, UCSF.
What's that?
Nice.
You got to give us a payout next time.
That's a big payout.
I need to know.
You bet all of it on that?
I gave it's a hell of a win if he did.
All right, last one, Mike.
Hell of a win if he did. I got to pick one more real quick. Which one do I want to do real quick? Lady PC says maybe Sheduer fans will become Browns fans when they finally play Sheduer. I know I will.
That may happen.
Well, last week we heard from one that said, I love the show. I'm a Browns fan now. I came for Sheduer, and I stayed for
for the
you
Browns.
guys.
We'll see you guys in overtime. Talking some baseball and playoff